Right, we're live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are here for yet again another match of the United Rugby Championship. This game is probably the biggest of the weekend. Leinster versus the Sharks. Although on the betting odds, the Sharks come in as massive underdogs. This game's taking place at RDS Stadium in Ireland. So it means that Leinster theoretically should have the edge. Although looking through at the Sharks side, anything could happen. Which is why, even though it's 5 a.m., we are up and ready to go for this game. Looking through at this Leinster side now, they were able to get themselves a victory last week, and they will be looking to continue that momentum. Andrew Porter, Dan Sheehan, and Michael Alaalatoa as the front row. Then they have got Maloney and Jenkins as the locks, Beard, Connors, and Conan as the loose forward trio. McGrath will be slotting in at number 9 with the very experienced head of Johnny Sexton getting a slot in at number 10. Now, last year in the URC, he was having some very good form. I believe this year will be no difference. Then Natai at number 12, Robbie Henshaw at 13. Then out on one wing it is Russell. Out on the other wing, Jordan Lamar, and then Jimmy O'Brien to close out the starting lineup for Leinster. Then looking through at the Sharks starting lineup, it is going to be Machunu at number 1, Kieran van Veeren, dangerous try-scorer machine, certainly will have a good chance of getting himself one throughout this fixture. And then Thomas Detoy, at number 3, Basson and Hiron Andrews will be the lock duo. Finta, Richardson, and then also at number 8, it will be Notche. So a very strong physical forward pack for the Sharks in this Irish fixture. Looking through at the back line, Grant Williams, Biota Chamberlain at number 10, then Tupuai at number 11. That's a lie. He's number 12. Thaka Abrahams will be 11, and he is extremely hard to stop when he gets a bit of space. Janti van Rensburg on the outside at number 13, Werner Koch out on the right wing, and then Apalele Fassi, the exciting youngster who I think should almost have a spot in that SA15 side when it is announced a bit later on. Looking through at the benches for this matchup, Leinster is sitting there with McKee, Ken Healy, and then it is going to be Abdelazide, the Georgian, at number 18, whose name I probably absolutely butchered. James Ryan at number 19, Reese Ruddock 20, then Foley, Byrne, and Ringrose as the rest of the back replacement. Looking through for the Sharks, it is Justa there, or Blue. Now, I feel like that's Bueller, isn't it? But I could be wrong there because I know Ferris Bueller, but I can't really say it too well. Carlin Saley at number 18. Then it will be Hugo at number 19. Pepsi Buthelezi, Cameron Wright, Fleurs, and then awesome matchup. And I cannot wait to see how it is going to be going. Leinster win today, says username. Yeah, they do come in as $1 favourites compared to the underdogs Sharks, who are paying $9. Hang on, have they had... Okay, Jack Conan's no longer playing. Ruddock is now going to be playing number 8. Late change they have just mentioned for the Leinster side, so I assume that is due to some sort of injury. Hey, says Scrumless, and also no Tyke today. Yeah, he is missing at the moment, Tyke Furlong, but Michael Alaalatoa, very handy for the Crusaders a couple seasons ago. It seems crazy to say that he has not been at the Crusaders for a good year and a bit now. Just time flies in the world of rugby, that is for sure. But the South African loose forward trio, I think they're going to be one of the keys for them, because normally for Leinster, you'd have the likes of a Josh Van den Fleur, also Jack Conan, both of those players missing. You haven't got Kalen Doris there either. So due to that, that's where the Sharks, I feel, have to try and make the most of their extra opportunities. But currently on the table, both of these sides not sitting too badly. They'll be wanting to promote themselves a bit higher, though, with a win here. Watching the match too, I'll be my commentator, Kiwi. There's Sim Slayer. Right, no pressure, but I will try my best to get some of these tongue-twisty names out not too badly. We see Werner Koch there, very excited to be out on the field at RDS Arena. Currently on the table, the Sharks, they are sitting in 6th on 9 points. Leinster sitting in 2nd, sitting on the 4. So the Stormers, they're sitting 3 from 3. They got themselves the win over Zebra. What do you think of Leinster home kit? I'm probably the last person you should ask, because my favorite color is yellow. So the fact that they've added more yellow, of course, makes me go, yeah, I don't mind it. I do enjoy it a little bit more. But I'd say that classic royal blue, it's a pretty good color overall for Leinster. And that is why there are so many players and fans alike wearing it. They make their way out onto the field. But Reese Ruddock, he wouldn't have been expecting to be out there this early in the matchup, but he does get the big opportunity. Also, Jason Jenkins, huge unit of an individual, although he's going to look huge when he's next to Luke McGrath probably every day of the week. Sharks will want to put it in a better performance from last week. They left it quite late for the win, says Cited Canvas. And yeah, that's the thing. A lot of these teams, like, I guess they've been slow starters, but then some of the sides have been absolutely lethal in the last 10 minutes. And that's something that if they can make it that you're lethal for the last 30 minutes or so, it's going to be not too bad, I would think, for the scoreboard. Did I just hear a Kiwi say his favourite colour is Aussie yellow? Says Ethan. I don't know about Aussie yellow. They've turned orange, haven't they? They got the Cadbury sponsorship and everything kind of turned a bit more like an Oompa Loompa from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I feel like I'm trying to dodge like kind of insulting Australia, but their colour is not that beautiful green and gold they used to have on their kits. And I think a lot of Wallaby supporters would agree they're Aussie yellow. Says Sim Slayer, and also the Stormers, says CP from Cape Town. But currently, head coaches are Leinster. They'll be excited for this matchup. The Sharks are a tough challenge, and no side should take them lightly. And Leinster's one of those sides they know that if they don't get it right early, they could concede quite a few points. Although this is one of the stronger lineups that we might see from Leinster, avoiding a few of those loose forward trios. And then also in there, you've got a couple other players out in that back line that they would have liked to have as a little bit more of a change. Of course, with the Irish select 15, and now that is more like the tone I was expecting. Yes, Oompa Loompa Aussie, says Ethan there. I wish my Pimpy was on the bench. Reece Ruddock, the most overlooked rugby player in Ireland. Such a shame he never really made onto the national team, says username. Yeah, he's always been class, but they've always decided to go for, I guess you could say, if it was a description of a car, they've always gone for the slightly newer model. And I feel like sometimes, some older cars are still running fine today, and those new cars are breaking down. So maybe Reece Ruddock in the future might get himself a little bit more time, but the future has to be near, or else he might be in trouble. Great backline movement from Leinster to start this match off already. Going down the wing, it's going to be Ryan Russell. Kicks it in behind. Sharks need to make sure that they are nice and wide awake for the start of this match. Nice mark taken by Bjorta Chamberlain, but quite the quick start by Leinster. Decided to just go with that backline. Crisp hands from Dan Sheehan on the outside to Russell. But Bjorta Chamberlain manages to get the mark. And yeah, the Aussie yellow is strange shade of yuck, says Cited Canvas. It's almost too, well, it is too orange. That one hasn't found touch for Bjorta Chamberlain, although he wasn't trying to, as it was just a mark. Now, once again, it's going to be Rob Russell. Now, you look at some of these young Leinster players. This is their opportunity to show everyone how good they are, so that when some of those bigger players are either injured or just not quite feeling 100%, that was very high. I don't even know if he was going to connect on his forehead, let alone below the neck area, but that's going to be the advantage now to Leinster 1 minute into this contest. Bit of a leg drive in the breakdown, and they're going back for the initial penalty. Ruddock will probably make it onto the World Cup squad, says username. Yeah, that's the thing. He'll probably be in there, but he's probably about, I would say, if you're ranking their loose forwards, they'll probably sit him at about 5 or 6. And also, we have got there Bjorta, pronounced boot, like foot. So it's Boota. Boota? Would that be correct? Boota Chamberlain? Hopefully that's not too far off. And come on the Sharks, but fear in the of God and Leinster to show that not invisible. South Africa teams should all beat them. There's 1, 2, 3 MS. And so far, the South African sides have been beaten, those European sides. And the URC, we saw the Lions get themselves the win recently up against Edinburgh. We saw it very recently that we did see the Stormers get a win over Zepre. Zepre are not an easy beat this year, though. They're actually scoring quite a few points, which is great to see. And Bota, so kind of like Bota, as in Botha, but just a little bit different. For the spelling, Michael Alatoa now has to carry. Leinster have had all of the ball throughout the early stages of this match. McGrath now offloaded back from Sexton. Jimmy O'Brien attacking the line. He's done well to spin out of that one and still going forward. Leinster look like they've come to play. Dan Sheehan does well to hang on to that one. He has tackled low by the Sharks, number 5. Now, Johnny Sexton stayed down with an injury. I hope he's all right, because he's one of those players that they certainly do not want to lose. McGrath now offloads it off to the big forwards. I'd love to see Reece Ruddock get the first try of this match. I don't know if it's going to happen. It's going to be a penalty to Leinster. So this is an easy 3 points if they want it. But the way they've been going early, I would say just keep on attacking. And Leinster will score first. There's Cited Canvas there. And also, yeah, better effort, says Ethan. And there's, all right. Is Johnny okay? You were fine on your feet. I like Thomas the Toy's attitude there. Of course, as the skipper, get told what your side did slightly wrong. The referee said he did completely fine, and he was like, yeah, I know. But what was the penalty for? Another player in the side of the breakdown, Leinster, getting themselves the penalty, Sexton back up to his feet to the round of applause from the crowd. Also down at the moment was the number 13, Rohan Janse van Rensburg, staying down for a little bit longer. Oh, they take the quick tap and go here. Leinster from 5 metres out. Sheehan's excited to get this opportunity. Does he take it himself? He sure does. Throws himself at the line. 1 metre short here. Leinster being dangerous. Andrew Porter was extremely close there, but he's just short of the line. Now McGrath might consider using the backs. He has got Riddick to his side, and instead we'll leave it for the forwards. They get closer and closer again. The Sharks trying to defend. It's hard to do so, though, when you've got a rugby post in your way over the line, and Leinster score in the first 3 minutes of the contest. And it's none other than Jason Jenkins, the big man, who does manage to get over. It feels like the Sharks might embarrass us. I don't know why they didn't take this match seriously by bringing in a B team chip me head, says Simp Slayer. Although I guess that's the thing. Their B side's still a pretty decent side. Like, you look through at their lineup, yes, they've got certain parts missing. They wouldn't have had the box, which I think has probably cost them a little bit because you don't have Makazole Mapimpi, no Lukanyuam anyway because of his injury. But overall, this backline's still pretty decent. The fullback's solid. But Leinster at the start of this match just seemed like they've been a little bit more aggressive, and they have been able to get themselves over the line. No way you're going to defend an attack like that so close to the try line, says Sided. Yeah, they just ran out of space. With the fact that Leinster were willing to take the quick tap from 5 metres out, that tells you any chance they get inside of the 22, they're going to try and add 7 points on the board rather than just the 3 like they may up against some of the other opposition in the URC. But that will now make the score 7-0. And no man Sharks. There's Dominic and also try Leinster and scrum less. Hang on. Okay, Reece Ruddock is now out. Unfortunately, I have just jinxed that man as he's been taken off with an HIA. Like I said, Maloney, a man who wasn't even in the side coming into this match, is now out on the field and may have to play 75 minutes. Jason Jenkins is a Safa. And there, as I said, Sam Slater, nice run down the wing. This time on the other wing, Jordan Lamar. Now McGrath goes back across. Jason Jenkins once again has another good run tackled by Machunu. Goes back across to the left. Johnny Sexton, Robbie Henshaw now linking up in the midfield combo for Leinster. Ball's available. Referee's not having none of it. Now wide cut out pass from Johnny Sexton, finding his targets early. Werner Koch has to make the tackle there. 5.5 minutes through this contest, and it's been all Leinster. Good evening, my friend. Just joined. Not a good start for the Sharks, says Josh Pike. Yeah, unfortunately. Oh, and that's another penalty, unfortunately, in the breakdown for Hiron Andrews. So now Leinster have got themselves another penalty. I think Thomas the Toy just told him, don't worry about that one. Andrews did try and dive on it. Now, the ruling is if it's inside of a metre, it's still considered a part of the breakdown. You're not allowed to dive on it, but you are allowed, if it's within that metre or just outside of that metre, you are allowed to grab it. And as long as you hold it, it's actually a legal turnover. But there's a little bit of that grey area that some of the players don't quite know. At this stage, that's been thrown in very straight from Dan Sheehan, but the gap has been closed between the two sides, so they're going to have to reset it again. The Sharks need to keep on attacking, keep Leinster out of the 22, says Dominique. Although at the moment, it's probably easier said than done. Leinster looking very aggressive throughout the early stages of this matchup. 6.5 minutes, and Dan Sheehan will once again have a line-out throw from 40 out. That one's gone over the top, nicely taken there by Leinster. Now in the midfield, Rob Russell, long way off his wing for that one, but McGrath goes back to Sheehan. Always a dangerous player. Leinster, they have got plenty of options for that front row, that is for sure. The fact that Tyke Furlong's not playing, also alongside him, they've got a couple other players all out waiting for their future opportunity. Keir nearly coming off the bench. Johnny Sexton tries to boot him behind. That's a little bit of a fancy word. That's a win for the Sharks in the penalty breakdown. Betwine's kind of a combination of between and behind. I don't think it would catch on, to be honest. I don't see it getting put in the next dictionary. Are they still making dictionaries, by the way? Words like, I was going to say words like lit in the dictionary, but they are. They're just different meaning than what they are currently. Unless it needs to slow down, they're all over the place. CSCP and also great. Sends a username, but the penalty goes the way of the Sharks. We'll kick it into touch. Just a little bit of a mistake from, I believe that was, I don't know who it was that was at fault there. Just a couple of the Leinster forwards a little bit slower getting to the breakdown than they would have liked. When you play Leinster, it's key that you don't fall behind or don't fall too far behind. Keep the same pace with them. They get demoralised and start making errors. Johnny Sexbottom and his cheeky kicks will be hard to disrupt, says Cited. Yeah, the man's got very good vision at the moment. Grant Williams goes round the side of the breakdown. Oh, the Sharks now big run from Northshire. Interesting choice to have Pepsi Buthelezi coming off the bench instead of starting, but I can understand, I guess, the intrigue of it with the fact that he is such an impact player when he's out there. Northshire also having not too bad of a start to this contest. Now will be Chamberlain, ball on the outside to Vernicock. Tries to run over the top of Rob Russell. He's knocked it on, though, so now Leinster have got the option of either the scrum or the line out. Oh, okay, never mind. Ripped backwards by Blue, so it's a Sharks line out. I see. Okay, so they've called it a strip there. And then, if that's the case, then I guess the Sharks would have the option of either a line out or the scrum, because McGrath did knock it on a little bit. And there's even, there isn't even the main Sharks team. The rest are all at home, says CP. Yeah, as well. That is that hectic URC schedule. You're always either on the road or get in a few home games, and then you're preparing to go onto the road. It's always tough. And that is why some of these athletes are just playing on their next level at the moment. Kieran Fanferen is one of them, sitting there at the back of the rolling maul. Grant Williams asking for Andrew Porter to have to disengage. He is currently still allowed to be where he is now. It's back across Grant Williams. Short ball there. Beautiful play. And Upper Fussy goes in for the try. And he is fired up. Oh, he's yelling at children. Don't yell at the young children. Upper Fussy scores it. He was a bit fired up. And go to Sharky, says Richard. And sorry, I forgot to hit the like. My humblest apologies. It is okay. Anyone else who has forgotten to hit that like button, or maybe has just chosen not to, be sure to hit that like button for us. And Upper Fussy scores that one. He saw that Zulu Shark fan Kiwi. There's some Slayer there, and also the try from CP. Now, Upper Fussy, very fired up. The very small ginger child had no idea what to really expect. She was just sitting there going, as he pretty much just screamed. But that's gone over 7-all between these sides through the middle at speed just to yell at the kids. I feel like this replay is going to be quite a funny one. I believe Fussy. Oh no, they're not going to show the yelling. But that's going to be one of those ones that if anyone makes memes, probably going to end up with a meme made about him. But yeah, Shark supporter, very excited at the moment. And I had to change my name from Wet Willie again. When I'm here, Hamish says everything hustle with the middle finger. Like it. And any Leinster supporters here in the chat says CP. We normally have a few popping in and out. Although normally it's not so much Leinster supporters, it's more people who don't like Leinster who support other Irish teams. Like I know we have a few Munster supporters popping in every once in a while, but Grant Williams now inside of the 22, going to be putting up the box kick. And also through the middle at speed. Oh no, I read that one. And you sure it wasn't a scrum half? Not a ball boy, says Ethan there. Man, my tongue would not do that one, would it? And Leinster supporter here says username, the little girl, Mum, can I go home? A shark wanted to bite me, says Simp Slayer. That's a penalty once again to the Sharks. Okay, now they're starting to find a bit more momentum here, which I think is why McGrath decided to run away with the ball a little bit before putting it down. But nice work there from Dylan Richardson. Johnny Sexton, he found his pass off to the youngster Maloney, but Richardson just managed to get over the ball in time. Sharks keeping pace, which is good, and go Sharkies. And then Sharks come on full press in the own half, says 1-2-3 MS. Currently 12 minutes through this game, and how's the ref handling the breakdown so far? Decided this is always a tough game to referee for any referee, no matter the level of their experience. I guess you could say just because Leinster, they're one of the quickest teams in the breakdown in world rugby today when it comes to club rugby, or I guess professional rugby, sorry, rather than club rugby. But the Sharks are also one of those sides who, when they get well and truly over the ball, they're very hard to move. So I think he's done not too badly at the moment, but that has the potential to change just because of how quick both of these sides can be when they get their turnovers. What a shot that is. Brilliant hit from Will Connors. Unfortunately, though, okay, it's actually going to be a penalty for something else for the Sharks, but they're taking the quick tap. Now knock back 10. It's going to be another penalty advantage. The Sharks looking like they really want to up the tempo against the men in the royal blue. Now Alatoa has to make the low tackle on Richardson. Grant Williams goes away to the left-hand side. Mistake, and it will be going back for the penalty. What team do you support? There's Richard. I have the lovely benefit of being neutral for these games due to being from New Zealand, but I love watching these two sides play. I could easily see either of them being in that top four, let alone maybe in the final of the URC. Okay, the Welsh referee has said that they weren't back 10 metres. The Sharks are going for the 7. They like the tactics that Leinster were trying earlier on with the aggression. They've decided why not try it ourselves as well. Is that Michael Alatoa? It is. So he made his way from the Crusaders. I believe it was not last year, but the year before last. He was in talks with Leinster, and now he has found himself a spot in that Leinster lineup. It's starting for this game. The England of club rugby, it seems. Says username there. But now, going to be Kieran van Theren. Leinster will be trying to defend this one. It's going to be tricky. They've done slightly well to get a hand on it, just to disrupt a bit for the Sharks, but now it's back available around the sides. Will be the youngster James Fenter. 10 metres out from the line. The Sharks, great counter right from Dan Shen. He just pushed about 2 or 3 Sharks players back by himself. But in great body position. Leinster unable to get the turnover though. Now Williams will go across the notch here. You can hear the crowd chanting for Leinster at the moment, hoping that they can manage to defend. But it's going to be one of those situations. Anytime either side gets within 15 metres, it's always going to be tough to stop them. Now another big run from the Sharks. Williams goes off notch here. Gets a nice short pass. Still available though. They're doing good phase play here for the Sharks. Now going short side. Bit of a spin for Jansi van Veren. Jansi van Rensburg, I should say. Dylan Richardson now. Around the side, he had a tremendous URC last year. He's just given away the penalty, although it wasn't his fault. It was Notchia who did end up losing his body weight. And whereas Eben, he is still away. I believe for Springbok players, they're either going to wait until after the URC part of after the international window to put them back in the URC, or maybe, who knows, maybe we could see them in a week or two. But now System Slayer. So it wasn't the breakdown. We saw the turnover going the way of Leinster. So yeah, Notchia sealing off, elbows down over the ball, or over his teammate Dylan Richardson. So that is why the penalty was given. So about those tits, I'm out for a walk, heading home to watch this. Hope you're well today, says Finton. You're doing very well too, mate. You got a good memory, I guess. There's all injury. Okay, Basson's going to be going off the field. Players are dropping like flies at the moment. We've already seen Rudikoff. We've already seen now another player have to make his way off. And now a very experienced head for the Sharks to make his way out there. And Pumas or Requas should fill in for Worcester for this season. Says 1, 2, 3 Emmys. I can see where the thought is, but I don't think they'll go with one of those sides. Instead, it's probably going to be a promotion for someone like the Cornell Pirates or someone, just because of traveling. Like all the Gallagher Premiership sides, unless the Pumas or Requas were willing to play all their games in England, I don't see them adding a team outside of England to the comp. And a Sexton and the Redhead 10 also, says Hanoi. Sexton and the Redhead. I know Johnny Sexton is. Who's the Redhead? That would be Kieran Frawley, wouldn't it? If I'm not wrong. But he is not off the bench. Instead, it's going to be Ross Byrne. Referee just telling everyone to relax. Probably a fair enough statement. A lot of players will be very much so. Oh, I see him from here, Kieran Frawley. And who's that? I'm trying to think of who that is there. It's one of the replacement forwards, but he was asking for a penalty or a free kick in favour of the Leinster boys. Now, nice run forward from Notchia. 25 metres out. Up Lilifasi will be looking to just hang back here. Gone too far. And that is going to be going back to where it was kicked from. Yes, Frawley low. And also, I hope Leinster wins. I can't stand the Sharks, SCP. Funny enough, someone earlier on said, I hope Sharks win. I can't stand Leinster. Literally almost word for word. Wait, I hope Leinster wins. I can't stand the Sharks. One moment. We're going to go back to the early one. Oh, no, it was a little bit longer. I wouldn't mind Sharks winning, even though it means the South African European run continues. I can't stand Leinster is the wording that they went for. And that one, and also go Sharks. God bless the Sharks. Says Richard, got to be a 22-metre dropout. Johnny Sexton puts a bit of distance on that one. It's an awkward one, and it bounces up now. Leinster almost able to take it in the air, but Apalele Fussy does well to be able to get his hands on that one straight over the ball for Leinster. They win the penalty once again, and this time it's Jordan Lamar who was able to get it. And also we have got there, they need to get this moaning at the ref during the match out of the game. This isn't football, says Ethan. And it is creeping in a little bit more, which is always, I mean, if it's the captain, I can slightly understand it, but not for every single breakdown, you know? Like, it used to be the referee, literally no one would talk to them other than the player who was, I guess, designated to talk to the ref, if that makes sense. But now it seems to be every man and his dog want to try and tell him how to do his job. But 22 metres out, Leinster now with a line-out throw. It will be Dan Sheehan. Puts it in, nicely taken there by Ross Maloney. Now off the back. It's not quite Josh Van Flair or Caelan Doris, but still an effective run there from Will Connors. Andrew Porter now going back across, the number 20 who came on the field a lot earlier than he would have been anticipating. Now a good run forward, this time from Charlie Natai. McGrath goes across to the right. Quick hands from Sexton, short ball. Nice work from Leinster, starting to build phase after phase. Quick ruck succession as well. Just something they are known for. I believe the average ruck speed is about 2 seconds, which is sometimes 2 seconds more than anyone else. But that is going to become the penalty. With such ruck speed comes great responsibility. And Robbie Henshaw's got that one wrong. Now 19 minutes into the game. Penalty for off feet. South Africa inside of their own 22. They will be kicking it back downfield. Should Sexton only play for the first half game as he needs to be managed till the World Cup? It's a good question because he is going to be in that World Cup squad, I would believe. He's a class player, even though he's getting older. His vision's something that really keeps on helping him to stay in the mix for international duty. I know that some people were saying that the next generation of the fly halves is slowly coming through with the likes of Ross Byrne. Also, I mean, Frawley did all right in the games up against the Māori All Blacks. You've also got, who else have you got? You've got the Munster man at number 10, whose name I've forgotten, Carberry, another option. And how could anyone like Leinster play such a cynical and ugly style of rugby? And no, there's Finton there. So Munster man yourself, Finton or Connacht, or Ulster actually. Probably your three options. I would assume one of them is your side, a little bit of a slip there. And now the Sharks. I mean, you could say it's ugly, but it's effective. And sometimes it is absolutely crispy out that backline when they get the set play going. Well, that's an interesting game. 7-7, all 20 minutes gone in the second half. Says it was Nathan, or in the first half, should mention that we are still sitting in for this matchup. So still plenty of time left for both of them. And also we've got there, let's go Leinster, says Nathan, nicely taken there out on the wing. Oh, Lama's really hurt his knee. That's not how you want to fall. And I hope he gets up. But I haven't seen him get up yet. He hasn't run back. I believe he's getting some medical attention and Sporting Sharks from South Africa, says Jolene there. And he kicked him behind. Johnny Sexton wants it. He wasn't able to take it over. Now Thaka Abrahams. Man, it was very hard to shut down. Leinster trying to get the turnover on the breakdown, unable to do so. Grant Williams sees some space in behind. Will go for the kick. Going to be awkwardly bouncing. Jimmy O'Brien's done brilliantly to hang on to that one, but he's been tackled low by Apalele Fussy. Sharks pressure on the breakdown, trying to get the turnover, but I believe Andrew Porter, as soon as he locks himself into position, he's pretty much impossible to move. My bad, just like I says, Nathan, no worries at all. We're all internationals back in Leinster. Not quite. They have still got a few players who are missing from their lineup here. Yeah, their loose forward trio definitely taking a bit of a hit with no Caelan Doris, no Josh Van Flair, and also no Jack Conan due to the injury at the start of the match. And also we have got there a great white bite. Go Sharkies. And there as well says not the soy boy. And Sharks injure more of these Leinster players, says Simpslayer, and also 3 Shark attacks in Oz last 2 days, says Annoy. That is quite a scary fact. That one is kind of weird, isn't it? How they seem to have little patches, how the Sharks are just like, you know what? We're sick of being out in the deep stuff. We're going to go into the shallow and just chill. And also you got the date wrong, says Kevin Harris there. I assume you are talking for this one because we are in New Zealand, so we're a little bit further ahead. It's currently the 9th of October here for us rather than the 8th is when this game, I guess, is taking place if you are in the Northern Hemisphere. And also, no, mate, I was being obtuse. I used to play amazing fast rugby, Leinster Dan all the way. Says Vinton in there, and Scary every time goes surfing. Says Annoy and Ethan, I think the wild horses when that song plays. Says Sim Slayer, but it looks like Lama has made his way back to his feet, which is great to see. Oh no, he hasn't. He's still sitting down. They were just telling us lies. I thought they said he was all right, but I think they're just testing out the ankles because he got one of those really awkward ones. Looks like he has found himself a drum, the Leinster mascot. You're allowed talking to us from the future, says Cited. I am. I can tell you it's supposed to be relatively good weather today. In here anyway, but I'm not sure about anywhere else. But the moon is currently out for us. That's a weird thing to think about, isn't it? While we are doing this live stream, it is dark and the moon is out, while the sun is shining here and it's daytime. Science. Well, not really science, just general, I guess you could say astronomy in a way. We're living in the future today. Says Scrumless. Right, Lama's back to his feet. And looks like, that's the thing, you don't want to risk him though. Last thing Leinster want is to end up with an injury that's more severe than it could be here. And also we have got there, can you say hi to my husband, Andreas? Hopefully I've said that correctly, but shout out to you, Andreas. Hope you are doing very well. Lama's shaking his head. I don't think he should continue. And he's not going to. Yeah, he's going to be taken off. That is a good move from them because at the end of the day, an injury here would have been absolutely massive. Right. So the sub has been made. Now it's going to be Gary Ringrose who makes his way out onto the field. So that is 2 injuries for Leinster in the first 20 minutes of this game. And it's called here by me, says Dominique. And also Andreas says, Annoy there. Thomas the toy now has to carry forward. Both sides still well and truly in this game. It's going to be a good pass up the middle. Kieran van Veeren now only 10 metres out. In fact, he's moved to 5 now, and it's the penalty to the Sharks. I believe there was no clear release for that one as Hook still getting stuck in. That's sorry, I had to be asked. There's Ethan Vernicock. He's had the ball a couple times. I know that that's probably not quite what you were referring to, but I like the pun. And he must hear that pun quite a bit as well. Vernicock in his time, but he is out on the right wing. He's got his hands full, though. Rob Russell's one of those young players who are slightly unknown to a few of the international world stage. Possibly he has got a chance of being known in the future. Or the Sharks are going to go for the 3 points. They've decided that now is the time to go for 3 rather than 7. Make sure you get a couple extra points on the board. And my Shark Leinster is panicking. There's some Slayer there. And any fringe box and the Sharkies today says Annoy. I think they've got a few scattered throughout their lineup. I mean, Notshare has the potential of being a future number 8 for them. Richardson, say he's probably got a decent crack as well. Kieran van Veeren, definitely. If I had to pick any player from the Shark side that I think deserves to be a Springbok, it is that man, Kieran van Veeren. But he keeps on just missing out. If he's not on the SA 15, I would be extremely surprised. And also, while they're kicking for 3, come on, Sharks, there's some Slayer. Yeah, the Sharks, they came in as $9 underdogs into this fixture. I'm going to have a quick look, see what they are sitting at now. They are sitting as $4 underdogs. So, yeah, whoever decided they were $9 underdogs at the start of the match might be regretting their decision because a lot of money would have been put on the Sharks, I would think. At that number, that kick has gone over from Chamberlain, and that will make the score now 7 points to 10 in favour of the Sharks after the 23 minutes. Not sure too light. I mean, Fusty had some sniffs at the box jersey, says that Ethan. I mean, that's the thing though, not sure because he's still growing, I think. He's a huge individual. That's going to be a player that was actually number 4, Justin Basson, sorry. He is not going to be returning out to the field, so also an injury. Money in the box replacing Elton Yankees, CSEP from Cape Town. Now a big run from Notshare, making about 15 metres there off the kickoff. Very handy for South Africa, or sorry, for the Sharks. And there we were talking about him in a bot kit just before, weren't we? And also Richardson has played for Scotland, as far as I know. Plays South Africa schools, but qualifies. Yeah, that's right. Never mind, got him around the wrong way. Well, I guess international-wise, Dylan Richardson, very good choice. Scottish, that's going to be a mistake from the Sharks, picking it out on the forward. Now Leinster have got themselves another attacking opportunity. Saw some Leinster fan wear a mask. There's something Slayer in there as well. Although if it was a Leinster branded mask, I'd probably wear it too. It would look quite cool, or I would think. And now thrown in by Dan Sheehan. Nicely taken there by Maloney, and Leinster start the rolling maul. At the back, hanging on to it, Dan Sheehan Going to make those extra few meters off the back. McGrath tries to use it. Quick hands from the tie. Johnny Sexton, bit of skill there. Big bump off from Gary Ringrose. Steps as well. He's only just come out onto the field and he scores at Gary Ringrose. So Lamar, his legs may not have been working, but that is certainly a try and a half from the replacement for him, Gary Ringrose. And Master good. Especially if they have symptoms that want to try Leinster. There's CP. Gary Ringrose just saw a gap and went for it. But you've also got to give credit to Johnny Sexton. He saw the run that was shaping up. Like I mentioned, the vision of the veteran just finds the short pass. Breaks through the tackle of Apalele Fussy. Tackled him way too high on Gary Ringrose there. And just, hang on. It's the second go at the line here. He tried to put it out. Didn't make it. And then goes over the line. Okay, they're going to say it's all right, not considered double movement of Sharks. I should have went for the 7. The Sharks need tries, not 3 points. And Legend Ringrose says, Jonathan, that kick's gone over, and now it's going to make the score 14 points to 10 in favour of the home side. So that is certainly going to cost the Sharks a little bit. Now they are $5.75 underdogs at this point of the game. Yeah, Gary Ringrose, class up the middle, breaking through Apalele Fussy's tackle, and it was that tackle miss that really opened up that gap. And Ringrose makes his way over the line. Haven't you watched the Stormers game? Says Connor, I was actually sleeping during that game, but I did see the Stormers getting themselves yet again another bonus point win in the URC. So sitting at the top of the bunch, 3 games, 15 points, the maximum that they did have possible. Mr. J Sexton in actions via, says Nathan. And this is why it is still only sniffs of the box jersey for Fussy, says Ethan. Yeah. The defence still is a bit to be desired for Apalele Fussy, but I think he'll get there. The thing is, he's still a very young player, so you're always going to have, I guess, those little gaps in your games. He'll learn from the fact that he kept on going a little bit too high there. Going to be a bit of a mistake by the looks of that one there. What Notche puts his hand up and apologises. I like how every player who we've said has a decent chance of making the Springboks has now made a mistake in the last little while, other than Kieran Van Ferren. Are they using an artificial pitch, Leinster? They are not, I don't believe. It's played at RDS Arena. So I think it is all right. I think it is real grass. Yeah, I believe it is. And like they're saying, first scrum of the day, it's taken 27 minutes. This is kind of rugby we like to see. Unless you're a forward and you want to get really stuck in early. Probably the worst case scenario for you. Sharks need to stay focused. There's Dominic, and also all I see is ex-Stormers players. Sharks not taking Stormers players away. There's CP there. Now, McGrath about to feed this ball into the scrum. They are 40 metres out from their own line here, Leinster. They will look to get another attack going. Perhaps you go to Sexton and let him run with it for just a little bit. No, you don't, because the front row has gone straight down and the penalty goes the way of the Sharks. Okay, elbows in close, then down was the call from the referee. Watch this one. Yes, straight away. Ooh, that's a lot of weight on Andrew Porter's face. No one. Thomas the Toy doing very nicely, or as the Irish commentator called him, Thomas the Toy. Well, I forgot he was French, but going to be 20 metres out from the line now. And the Sharks work themselves the line up first scrum and we win it. And how much do you think what do you think the impact of any, or if any, on South African rugby and New Zealand rugby as a result of a move to the north for the South African side, says Ethan. I get this question almost every single live stream. Overall, it seems to be one that is a hot topic. I would say South Africa, they're certainly getting a bit of the inside knowledge by playing these European teams so often, definitely with the Champions Cup getting added in there as well. New Zealand, they will be missing that physicality they get from playing the South African sides. But they still have the international game, and I think that's going to be a big one. The fact that they still play the Springboks in the Rugby Championship, I think is going to be why both sides might be all right. But if South Africa leave the Rugby Championship, I think that's when we're really going to see it take a toll on New Zealand, Australia, and Argentina. And my Sharks, what a horrible line out. There's Sam Slater there. Now we have got another scrum. It only took an extra, maybe 60 seconds. If we're lucky between that one and the first one and to come on the Sharks, my team, you guys can do it from Lawrence. And then from Lawrence as well. And also, I see this Aussies want to pull away from the Super Rugby as well. That is another good point. Super Rugby AU might become the new thing So then New Zealand will find themselves playing up against each other, which wouldn't be a bad thing for them in some regards, but also you're not really getting any new looks. Moving north, as we can South Africa teams need to play teams from New Zealand, says Josh Pike. But then it's weird, isn't it? Because it's a bit of a double-edged sword. It's good to be playing those European teams a bit more often, but it's bad because you don't get to play the Southern Hemisphere teams so often. And from the Rugby Championship, you'd have to say, I mean, the Springboks, they did all right. They did struggle a little bit still in some of their games in Australia, but they managed to get themselves a win in Australia as well. I'm trying to remember where their losses were. They had one loss at Ellis Park, one loss in Australia, didn't they? And then New Zealand, they had their loss in Christchurch and also in South Africa. I believe those were the only losses New Zealand had. Now it's a big scrum. South Africa, or the Sharks, I should say, have got this one. Thaka Abrahams, great run there. Vernicock is going to get it out the back line, and that will be the try now for the Sharks. After 30 minutes, they take the lead in that scrum. It's been an effective weapon for the Sharks throughout the early stages of the game, but this was almost a Leinster-esque set play, I guess you could say. What happened to you when the Storms played? I was asleep. It was a 3 a.m. kickoff here in New Zealand, and I had to try and sleep at some stage within a 24-hour period. So I decided that was my time that I was going to be sleeping. I managed to get like 5 hours of sleep or something along those lines before this game. After this matchup, though, we are going to be heading back to sleep so we can be all prepared for later on in the day. Thika Abrahams, great acceleration, gives it off to Apalele Fassi, and then Vernicock in the corner. On the right-hand side, it's going to be a tough kick, but the Sharks have taken the lead, and Australia Rugby Union will leave Super Rugby and the Rugby Championship 2024. Interesting that they want to leave the Rugby Championship, though, because I feel like that's really going to hurt them, because who are they going to play at internationals? I guess they'll, unless, the only thing is, Australia, if they decided they wanted to link up with maybe a competition with Japan, Fiji, and I guess maybe Samoa, you could see a whole new competition kind of start up, similar to the Rugby Championship, but just not quite. And the Sharks, and yes, the Sharks, and Cox scores says cited. And also, I think we will miss playing the New Zealand sides. We generally look at New Zealand as a benchmark. And I hope the Sharks get another try before the match ends, unless they get a yellow, says Tim Slater. And also, no, that's back. I mean, it might not quite be what the rugby fans want, but it might be what the money says. And at the end of the day, I think money talks, and that is why Australia have considered going off alone, because they've had the backing of, I believe it's the Western Force billion or millionaire. Either way, he is very wealthy, and he's pretty much said if Australia want to go alone in Super Rugby, he's going to fund the whole competition. So who knows? And sports all over has too much politics as well, says Jolene, and also Bledisloe Cup probably still will go ahead. I'd like to think so, but I guess that's the thing. Do New Zealand play the Bledisloe Cup matches and they don't get points towards the Rugby Championship, I guess? And then it's just the tri-nations between New Zealand, South Africa, and Argentina. It would be a weird one if Australia were to leave. Thomas Tatoi's done well in that breakdown. Get the penalty in favour of the Sharks. Currently 33 minutes in. Sharks with a 1-point lead. That kick was unsuccessful, and they should do World League Cup, or the World Club League, bring some of the New Zealand teams into the URC 21-team league. Top 10 will go to the Champions Cup, says Contender in there as well. And I guess the hardest part for doing any type of international club competition is really time zones, isn't it? Good news with South Africa is they're on a very similar one to the Irish teams and anyone that they are playing. Twiggy Forest says, and USC is slowly becoming the best league / competition, says CP, and stuck in an airport on my way back to Dublin. Nice to have your commentary, says James. Yeah, hopefully you do have a safe flight when it does come around. Is it delayed, or is it just that you have got to wait? They do make you get to the airport like an hour or two early, don't they? Certain flights. Now Grant Williams goes back across to Richardson. Big shot on him by Michael Araratoa. Grant Williams now fires it back. Now it's Machuno making his way forward. Williams goes off to Nurche. His ankle's taken down low by someone who normally would be Josh Bannon-Flair, but in this game it's Will Connors. He's got that same blue headgear on just to throw us off a little bit. Andrew Porter makes a good tackle there. Williams goes back to Machuno, trying to break through. The Sharks are starting to get that go forward going here. Grant Williams receives the pass out the back. Now the back line starting to open up for the Sharks. It's about a 4-on-1. All they need is the pass to find hands, and Saka Abrahams has got it. Oh, geez, Andrew Porter was going in with the slide tackle, and I think the referee's just having a bit of a word with him. You might say it's probably more exciting than the English Premiership and typically delayed, says James there. And don't really care about Aussie, to be honest, bunch of spoiled tactics. Those games, I won't miss playing them, respect New Zealand much more, and the rivalry, says Ethan. And good fussy and thicker, says Ina there. Yeah, it was a great pass there. It was actually on the outside. It was Rohan Jansi van Rensburg who managed to do well with that cutout pass. And he had to pass it because at the end of the day, it was wide open. Notchek considered trying to go for it. Van Rensburg saw the gap. And then Tucker Abrahams in the corner got himself the try. Will Connors had some chop tackle, says Finton O'Mora. Hopefully I said that correctly. And maybe sends Highlanders to the URC. Says Nathan, it'll be interesting to see how they go because I know they've been struggling a little bit in New Zealand. But, you know, who knows? Maybe one day we see a Club World Cup. I know that was rumoured a little bit. At least Australia will win a cup to play against themselves, says Andre. That's harsh, but true, I guess you could say. Chamberlain, once again, just hangs it a little bit out to the right-hand side. So that will make the score 20 points for the Sharks and 14 for Leinster. Right now, I'm interested to see how the odds sit with a 6-point lead for the Sharks. Still a converted try. Okay, they are $3.80 underdogs still. Interesting. So even though they are 6 points ahead, $3.80, what you will find the Sharks paying throughout this match. Bad kicks by Chamberlain. Says Sim Slayer, and I still see the Heineken Cup called the European Cup. Makes me laugh. Says Ethan there, and also try says Dominic in there as well. But now the Sharks inside of their 22, although it has been taken back, so they will not be able to kick this one out on the full. So then 36 minutes through, Grant Williams puts it high. Leinster trying to line it up. It's going to be a tough one to take. Ringrose has been able to get enough on it. And now Leinster have got the position back. They've already scored 2 tries compared to the Sharks 3. So both of these sides hunting for that bonus point. And also Bota needs to kick better. Are you doing Ulster versus Ospreys match? Says Connor, we are not for that one. We are going to be going to sleep pretty much straight after this game. And then waking up in the afternoon now. It's going to be Henshaw out to Rob Russell, ball on the inside. Maybe I can now understand why Leinster were not considered as huge underdogs as of yet, as they have got themselves another great attacking opportunity. McGrath comes back to Sexton, flat ball. That one's going to be a little mistake. I've said it's gone backwards. Now Henshaw goes for the kick and behind it sits up Leinster in the corner. It is Ringrose again. Got himself a second try of the game since coming off the bench. Okay, so the Sharks were down to $2.70 as the favourites, but now that's going to completely change again as the URC divided into 2 pools. Not quite. So pretty much they've got the different regions normally, but it is the top 8 who go through to the next stage. I wish the Box and a Bowden Barrett or Richie Mo'unga at 10, especially Mo'unga. Really is underrated, says Ethan, and Johnny on the blacks sets it up again. On the blocks, sorry, sets it up again. And you need to have an acting degree to make Aussie team. Maybe Ronaldo can qualify, says Jolene there. And geez, what a game. Yes, CP. Yeah, it's going back and forth well and truly. So the Sharks are now $4.60 underdogs with that one. And Ringer Rosie scores again. Says CP. Yeah, great work from Gary Ringrose down the wing. Henshaw saw the space, went for the cross kick. Ringrose is too quick for that one to find the turf. Gets it down. Leinster as well. Some salty. Says Annoy. And also, let's go Leinster. Says Nathan. I missed the kick. Leinster says Dominic. Okay. They do just want to check this one to make sure that it did go backwards. Anyone wondering about a game in the top 14? Toulon having a decent game up against Breve in their close fixture, sitting 47-0 at the moment, the way it is sitting. So I think there could be a late comeback for Breve in that one. Hope everyone knows I'm joking, or else that is concerning. And it's like the Sharks, listen to me. Don't fall behind when Leinster or playing Leinster, says Sim Slayer. Now, Johnny Sexton. We're lining up this kick. Currently a 1 point difference between these two sides. Now, Sexton, I don't mean to jinx him, but his kicking's normally very good. That's normally all you got to say, and that will put the commentator's curse on him, unfortunately. But Johnny Sexton to line up this kick. The crowd are very silent. Almost too silent. Sexton, he's got that one over, so it is going to make the score now 22 points to 19 in favour. 21 points to 20. I'm having a shocker with my maths. I was looking at the wrong side. 21 points to 20. Leinster are in the lead. So they have said it definitely went backwards. Then Ringrose out on the wing gets it. And also we have got, come on, Johnny, says Hanoi. And Leinster been going all right. 3 tries. Sharks 3 tries. Both of these sides 1 try off a bonus point. And I would have to say at this stage, the way the match is going, both should have a bonus point by the end of the game. It looks like Luca McGrath will once again consider kicking this one downfield with the box kick. And I was got the laughing faces. And there as well, that one's gone onto the roof. Will it come down? Yes, it does. Now 40 minutes out, the Sharks will have one last attacking opportunity before we get into the second half. Work is done. Let's have some fun, says Eric. And both of these sides are certainly having fun out there on the park. 30 seconds left of the first half. My Sharks get 7 points, says Simp Slayer. And there as well. Now, Kieran van Veeren. That's not straight. And now it is going to be a Leinster scrum, although that's not exactly out of the woods for Leinster because last couple of scrums, trying not to yawn, they have had some big success there, the Sharks. Also, I watched some NFL games recently, one word, disaster, says Atel. Yeah, it is an acquired taste, the NFL, in terms of, I guess, that stop-start, which is unfortunately something that has been creeping into rugby a little bit more. We watched a game the other day, took about 2 hours and 5 minutes to get through the match, even though they are only playing for 1 minute. Well, sorry, not 1 minute. That would be a very, very short game. But yeah, they only play 1 hour, 20 minutes of rugby, but they managed to have about 40 plus minutes of stoppages. Plus, that's including half time, though, but that's normally 10 minutes. Johnny Sexton goes for the little grubber. Here comes Ringrose again. Finds the offload to McGrath. Chamberlain misses the tackle. Leinster, what a shot that is. Whoever that was. Number 13. Rohan Janstef van Rensburg has made a maybe try-saving tackle there on Luke McGrath, who looks like he doesn't quite know where he is at the moment. Looks like he's been rocked big time. Then the cop checking on him. And the NFL is the worst, sorry, my opinion, and basics, throw the ball straight. Goodness me. There's Ethan there. Now, it's the worst pass so far, says Eric. Are we talking worst passes in one individual player or a team in general? We've probably seen more drop ball from, well, actually, we haven't seen a lot of drop ball at all by either side. Oh, yeah, that head, the whiplash after the big shot from Janstef van Rensburg, and then Werner Koch was able to get over the ball instantly. Oh, yeah, that will hurt the back of your head if you look McGrath. He might be out for a week. And also we've got there who will take over if Henry Chamberlain goes down. Williams or Fussy. I'm just going to quickly have a look. So they've got Fleurs off the bench. How you say that? Probably not. Nelvaldo. He's coming off the bench. I don't think he's a fly half, though, is he? So I'll probably put Williams there, to be fair. And then maybe add, actually, can Cameron Wright play? Maybe. But now Luke McGrath is going to be going off the field here for an HIA just to make sure he's all right. And also we've got Izzy Gus. There's a chance that he could be. He did stay down for quite a while. Either that or just heavily rocked. Sexton is complaining. Another potential Leinster player injured. Says Simp Slayer. And there as well. Right, there is booing. At the moment, ringing out around the RDS. Taking a tap, kicking it into touch, and we go into halftime for this contest. 21 points to 20, so extremely close between these two sides. It's mind-numbing, and I don't understand how anyone can stand it. Scrum lads there. And also Chamberlain needs to play better. There's Dominic there, and his head hit the deck hard. Certainly did. And not that comforting, having Cock leaning over you, checking on you, Ethan. Currently in this game, very close between the two sides. We're going to have a quick look at the way that it is sitting in the odds, just because I love seeing how it does change. There are a whole heap of children who have run out onto the field. Watch out, because Upperley Fussy might yell at them if he scores another try. That's not going to become his thing, by the way. That is just, it was unfortunate that there was a small girl in the front row when he was shouting his head off. So Sharks are still $4 underdogs at this point in time. And watch a real sport rugby, says CP. That was all. And if we lead at halftime, we are playing poorly, says James Cody. So yeah, the second half's really going to be a deciding one for both of these teams. We're either going to see an upped intensity, although with the fact that both sides are starting to already have to use their bench due to injuries, you never know. Maybe we do see just a little bit of a change and the mentality of Leinster and the Sharks, and it's 10-3 to Cardiff at the moment, says CP. Is that half time in their game as well, Carl, almost? Because that seems like a relatively low-scoring one, I guess you could say, but I'll have a look. And also cooking chicken livers tonight, says Karma Peach. I can say that I have never eaten a liver of an animal, but they're supposed to be good for you, aren't they? Supposed to have high in something. Like vitamins? No, I'm not too sure, but it's supposed to be quite good for you, isn't it? 11, what a game. That last try for Leinster was fantastic, his username. In fact, you have to say 2 of Leinster's tries have been very good. Also, the Sharks, they've had a couple nice tries out their back line. And then going to watch Brighton versus Tottenham. More enjoyment, says that James Cody there. More intensity, says some staying very healthy, says Karma Peach. And go the Blues. There's Scrum last there as well. But they are just showing the replays of some of the highlights of this first half. We'll get some stats up for you guys. Tell you exactly who have been the standouts in this match. I would have to say, I think Leinster are going to have a possession advantage by about 3%. As Nil James says Finton, and they're high in bad taste, I reckon, says Ethan. Have an airport pizza, says James Cody. And also just had liver curry, nice high vitamin C, better than oranges, more intensity, so Leinster hurts more of their players. No, man, I mean, no malicious, says Simpslayer. Now, you have asked for about 5 Leinster players to get injured, I think, somewhere around there, but that is okay. At the end of the day, you want the Sharks to win. Hopefully, if they do get injured, it's nothing too serious. I think that's the thing we should mention. So far, possession is actually 52% in favour of the Sharks. So I got that slightly round the wrong way. The clean break's just the 1 for the Sharks, none for Leinster. Hang on, that's only got 2 tries apiece for the side, so they have got the scoreboard slightly wrong. I have to wait till that updates. And Lee Halfpenny's still playing currently, 10-3 to Cardiff in the 38th minute. Last time I saw him, he did actually get a little bit injured. Periodic table, high in iron. So iron is FE, isn't it, on the periodic table? About number 19, Joss. Maybe not. Probably not, to be fair. And also, sorry, guys, don't take offense to anything I say. I'm only having a laugh, says Ethan. And that's Scarlett's in Cardiff. It says, TP, they always start like a house on fire, then fade in the second half, says Cameron. So I assume you talking Leinster, because can Leinster pull off the win? They are a good starting side. The Sharks are probably a better finishing team. We've seen that over the last couple of games of the URC, being able to edge their way late in a contest. But it's still a very close one between these two sides, and I'm looking forward to seeing who can get themselves the edge. I think Leinster's structure is definitely going to help them in the later stages, whereas that unpredictability of the Sharks might be just what they need to be able to put it to bed in this matchup. We have got Crocodile Testicle. There's something that kind of features, right? FE correct. Much higher than 19. Potassium K is 19. 26? Is it 26? Maybe? No, I'm very bad at my periodic table, but the fact that I got FE, I think, is almost a pat on the back for myself anyway. But now, just waiting for the second half to get underway. I'm waiting for the stats to also come through. They still think the game's going. So they've only got 2 tries scored for the Leinster and 1 try for the South Sea Sharks. So the stats could be completely wrong at this stage of the one that I am doing. But do let me know, ladies and gentlemen, who you think will be able to win it. Unobtainium, says Ethan, for the personal favourite element. Element, can you show the table? I haven't actually got it on me at the moment, but I can get it up. One moment. We will go like this. We will go like this. I know that at the moment Leinster are in second, but Storm is in first. This is taking a while to load, as it always does when you're hoping it goes quickly. And also now name all the noble gases up. Look and go. I'll be a tricky one. Are you going to commentate the Blue Bulls game with the Glasgow Warriors? Unfortunately, we do have to miss that game, sadly, because I will be sleeping, as George wants to come around in the early morning, or not quite early morning, but kind of mid-morning to do some filming. So we're going to try and be fancy here. We're going to go like this, and we're going to go like this. There we go. It's a little bit of an unorthodox way of showing the table, but that is how we're sitting currently. My hand, I apologise for the unsteadiness. But the Stormers sitting in first, Leinster, then the Bulls. They are playing a little bit later on tonight. Also alongside that, you've got the Lions. Ulster Sharks are in sixth, which you cannot see because it is kind of blurred out. I never understood why is it called noble gases. And there says Ethan. I'm sure Joss, as the chemistry teacher, might be able to help us out there. Solid stuff. CCP, and I thought he meant the periodic table, Hamish, says Ethan. And they're the periodic table. I feel like that one's gone over my head, unfortunately. I'm sure it was a good one because my brain's not working. I was learnt to repeat hydrogen, heli, bib, coffee, sort of the top line of the periodic table. Hydrogen, heli, coffee. I see. And farting is not noble, says Kamabeja, because they are so majestic they react with nothing. They say the rest of the elements are peasants. And also noble gases do not react. They are inert. There you go. I feel like chemistry was one of those ones that I did for year 10. I pretty much did it up to the stage of when you didn't have to do it. And then I concentrated on rocks because rocks seem like the simpler option, to be honest. I think I just took the easy way out. So I learned like all about rocks. I think I also did astronomy, earth space science, plant biology I actually did. And then another one, I think. But yeah, I pretty much did anything that didn't involve tricky stuff. So I didn't do physics. Physics would have been a brutal one to do. But, physics is one of those ones that if you know what you're doing, it gets easier. But if you don't know what you're doing, you take plant biology. That's a nice life lesson for your kids. Really waiting for the second half to get back underway. I think we're going to see a big second half from Thika Abrahams anytime he gets the ball. He only got it about 3 times in the first half, but each time he touched that ball, there was danger. Same can be said, though, about Gary Ringrose. Did you learn about beer? Says Eric. I don't think so. I think it was a little bit too early for the beer learning stages, I guess. And I could be good at ignoring stuff and not reacting. I guess I count myself as a noble guy, says Ethan in there as well. I believe position is just in favour of the Sharks, although, like I mentioned, the URC website has not updated with this game yet. It doesn't mean we are still waiting to find out exactly what the statistics are, but we have seen 3 tries apiece for both of these sides. Pretty much at this stage, only one more try needed for both of these teams to get themselves at least 1 point in this fixture. There's a good chance that it finishes with it being closer than the 7 points, which would also mean an extra bonus point on the line for one of these two sides also. But anyone who is new, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. It's hugely appreciated you guys all being here for this matchup, and it's going to be interesting to see exactly who gets themselves over the line. But the game a bit earlier on, the Stormers taking on Zebra. They were able to get themselves the win there. The Stormers haven't brought out the guitar yet. I feel like it's kind of an honorary South African national anthem time, as that seems to happen on pretty much every live stream. Oh no, I was doing so well. That was actually one of the best that I've played it, and then I blew it. I put my finger in the wrong place, and it all went wrong. Yeah, scrums are fart museums. There's, well, scrum they say, and reckon there are plenty of noble gases at scrum time. Secret to the box scrum success. Methinks I didn't hear anything. Did I play it too quietly? It would be unfortunate. And also, we've got the Michaela Leinster A team struggling against the Sharks. Says Michaela, although I don't know if we'd call it the A team. For Leinster, they haven't got themselves no Tyke Furlong, also missing in that front row. Who's their normal starting number 2? I can see him, but I can't think of his name at the moment. But he is not there. Also, alongside that, they haven't got Caelan Doris, Josh Van Den Fleer, or Jack Conan in their loose forward trio. Their backline, they are missing a couple of their key players as well. So, it's almost a B team versus a B team at the moment, the way that I look at it. But, of course, both of these sides, they have world-class players. Still going to be tricky. And also, we have got their cool Hamish says Kamba Beach and there as well. But currently, 3 tries apiece for both of these sides. Just looking through. at the reserves bench. Of course, we already see that Ringrose is out there on the field. That is due to Jordan Lama's injury. Also another change, Basson has gone off the field. That was due to his injury. McGrath, he is injured, so he's not out there at the moment getting his HIA. Also alongside that, Reece Ruddock going off to play Rugger Hamish. Says Ethan, not really. I used to, but I was out on the wing. I never touched the ball because we had a very greedy number 9 and 10. And anytime you tried to go off the wing to get involved, coach pretty much said get back out there and let the 2 stars do the playing pretty much. We lost pretty much every game. So I don't think they were that great overall, our 9 and 10. But it is what it is. And I was like, I'm on Sharks, score a couple of early tries. And hello, says Ollie. And also when there's no Tyke Furlong playing, Leinster's automatic B team. Says Scrumless in there as well. Now, not too far away from the second half, still waiting for the stats to come through. It's actually been about 10 minutes. And also, man, O-Man was Fozzie their coach too. Yeah. It always helps when the number 10's dad is the coach and also thinks he is coaching the All Blacks, even though it's under 9s. You know, it's like, mate, we're not going to a World Cup here. We don't need to make sure that we keep our structure completely. You know, we're losing 25-0. Let us play and go and be long halftime. There's always a long halftime in these ones. It does seem to be, but that's all right. It just gives us more time for guitar and fun. I'm hoping we don't see too many cards in the second half, but if we do, we have got them ready. I think the yellow card is going to be the more likely for the 2 sides, but the penalties, they haven't had a huge amount against each other. I don't believe penalties conceded. It says 4 against 4 against the Sharks, 7 against Leinster is the way that it is sitting currently. But they also haven't updated it since about maybe 20 minutes into the game. So that might be also why we don't see too many extra stats. And show us the benches for the restart, please. Who has a bomb squad? Says Eric, one moment we will go like this, and we will go like this. So the changes that have already been made are as follows. Reece Ruddock already come on the field and off the field due to injuries because he did start the game. So coming off the bench for him, I believe it was Maloney who made his way into the side. Foley's already out there. Ringrose already out there. So 3 changes made by Leinster. Then for the Sharks, they have had the 1 injury, and that was actually their number 4. So because of that, Reniel Hiku has made his way out onto the field. But I would say that the Sharks have got the advantage at the moment for their bench purely because they've got more players there. They've got 6 who can come on rather than the 4 that Leinster have got for themselves. It's got their discipline has been good so far. No cards yet, and no 20s on. There's Finton there. So yeah, normally at this stage it was going to be at the start of the match Ruddock, but because Ruddock started the match, it did mean the late change, and that was Maloney, I believe, who did come off the bench as the number 20 rather than Ruddock. And yeah, so that is number 20. And also we'll go there for Leinster, says Finton, and also hope the Sharks worked on their lineouts for the second half. And I now predict a draw, says Eric. Okay, interesting. So I assume you're thinking there's going to be a missed kick at some point throughout this game for Leinster, I believe, would make it a little bit more likely for a draw. And that would certainly shape up or shift up the URC table with these 2 sides doing very nicely. Jacques is there. What are the conditions like? And who do you think it benefits? I'd say it's actually looking quite nice, to be fair. So free flow and rugby, I want to say it slightly benefits the Sharks. Because reason being, Leinster, whether it's raining or whether it's dry, they still have that very good backline, the crisp backline. Whereas the Sharks, with the fact that it's dry, they can do a couple more unpredictable moves. I think it will work in their favour a little bit more. It's close first half. Second half, I think it's going to be just as close. And yeah, I cannot wait for it to get back underway, which is only going to be in a couple minutes' time. In fact, I think the second half, it's actually started. I just realised I was watching the second half without realising the second half had started. It is 6 a.m. though, so maybe I can blame that and turn over for the Sharks. There's Slayer. Yeah, currently a little bit of an injury. We're 43 minutes through. Kieran van Veeren has got a bit of a nose injury. I heard the commentary as well, and I didn't put it together. I can go either way. Really, both sides have been good to bounce back from conceding a try, says Cited. And also we have got their Sharks can't play on the rain. Lucky it isn't raining, says CP. Yeah, I guess you could say Yeah, if it was raining, Leinster might be ahead by a little bit more just from past results that we've seen. And it started, I'm watching it, says Finton there, yeah. So currently 43 and a half minutes through. So the Sharks have got themselves a penalty a few meters out from their own line. I was watching the second half without realizing I'm watching the second half. See some player. Yeah, that is a 6:10 or 6:10 moment in the morning for myself. But yeah, I was just watching going, oh yeah, these still highlights. No, these are long highlights. Oh yeah, game's on. That's kind of the result in my head. And he heads up for a great chat and unforgettable commentary so far. Like, says Eric in there, and let's go. The Sharks get that bonus point win, says Dominic. So both of these sides, if they get one more try, they will have themselves a bonus point. So I think this stage, I'd like to say if both sides didn't get the bonus point, or either side didn't get the bonus point, they'd be pretty disappointed. But this line out from Kieran Van Feren so far has been quite disappointing. That one's worked out a lot better, though. Reniel Huhu has been able to take that one nicely and now puts the ball up high. Then the Cock trying to chase. More on the midfield, though. Great take. Oh, that's a good shot in the spine from Janse van Rensburg. He's putting in all the big hits on the Leinster players at the moment. Now back, Johnny Sexton running a hard foot, the pop pass up. Oh, he's been tripped and he's gone down underneath a breakdown. But brilliant work from Leinster to keep this ball on. Ringrose. No, in fact, it's going to be Robbie Henshaw this time. He had Ringrose on his outside, decided against using him. Now around the side, the referee's done very well to not get cleaned up by one of the players now. 5 meters out for Leinster. Looking to attack early in the second half now. And the crowd are chanting for Leinster. It's going to be the penalty going the way. Okay, the ruck was formed, the second man, so that is going to be the penalty in favour of Leinster. And also, great chat on this side. Makes it what it is. There's Just Pike and also come on the Sharks. You can do it. Come on Leinster. Morning says Lim report. Mate, you are doing very well. Great run from Leinster there. The offload initially just kept that ball alive for a bit longer. They were drifting across, so I think it was smart from Robbie Henshaw to cut back on the inside the way that he did. Leinster says, well, scrum lace and what? Come on, ref. That was asking. Yeah, I believe it was the second player losing his footing and then joining into the breakdown. But this is actually going to be a quick tip and go here for Leinster. After 45 and a half minutes, Dan Sheehan goes down. Now around the side here once again for Leinster. Getting close to the line. Another advantage this time for offside. And no, let's go to Leinster. Very quick hands from Leinster. It certainly is something they pride themselves on. That's going to be held up, I would think. Yes, it is. So they are going back for the penalty. 5 meters out. Johnny Sexton just reminds the referee where it is. Okay, the referee just having to tell the players held up as the call. I think it was more of the case of the players were stuck. And that was cynical. There's Vinton there and got up for the EPL and ended up watching Der Klassiker. Hopefully I've said it correctly. Or as usual, Bayern Munich, aka Canterbury, leading Dortmund 1-0 early in the game, says Lim. Now, around the side with Andrew Porter. Leinster, the last time they got 5 meters out and were extremely lethal. That was earlier on in the game. They did miss out on their opportunity just before, though, to go over the line. Dan Sheehan drops the head, almost going around it. Andrew Porter, he attacks the line, scores the try, and Leinster now get themselves a bit more of a lead going into the early stage of the second half. Yuck, says Ethan there, and also tries to try Leinster. Says DP, and also where's the game being played? It is RDS Showgrounds or Aviva. Guessing from what your wallpaper, it's the former. Yep, we are at the RD. Oh, you can't see the S. That didn't work. But yeah, we're at the RDS Stadium, or RDS Arena, I should say, for it. Leinster. Andrew Porter just keeps the body position low. He was always going to be hard to stop, definitely because there was no one there initially to be able to try and stop him. Leinster get the conversion, and now it will make the score 28 points to 20. Nice early one for the Leinster boys, and also we have a nice cheer, by the way, says Lim report. Thank you. It's quite solid, I guess is the best way of describing it. It's made of wood. Got to be good for the posture, doesn't it? Well, normally I sit on it for like 8 hours at once doing live streams, so that's probably not ideal for the posture. Now 47 and a half minutes through. Leinster now with an 8-point lead. I believe the Sharks now will find themselves sitting as about $10 underdogs, just with that one try being scored. $9 underdogs. I wasn't too far off. Downfield from the Sharks. Nice take from Ringrose. Thicker Abraham misses the tackle. And now Leinster with the counter attack. It's a big kick from Ringrose. He saw plenty of space in behind. Going to be now Chamberlain. Goes across to Apalele Fasti, who does pick it when he's inside of the 22. And that's really not gone too far for him. Back of Ireland playing nice rugby. Aaron Rose will be my man of the match. And yeah, the fact that he came off the bench and has had such a prominent impact is huge. And no Sharks, what are you doing? There's Dominic there. And also we've got the Porter as a monster, great power. Yeah, like I mentioned earlier on, when he's down in a breakdown, he's very hard to move and lost him a few years ago. Says it was coming. Andrew Porter or Gary Ringrose did come a pitch. Do let me know. Either way, unfortunate news. One of these Leinster representatives. Line out throw for Dan Sheehan now. Ready to throw it in. Waiting. Gonna have to do it soon. He has done it now. Almost stolen by the Sharks. But Leinster, the second half looks like it's when they're really going to come alive. Reminds me a little bit of what we saw between the Black Ferns and Australia yesterday. Bit of a mistake from Leinster, but it did go backwards with that drop ball from Foley. Now has his hands on the ball, goes back to Johnny Sexton. Cross-kick attempt, and it's going to be the big number 6. Oh, he's just tried to kill the little child. That was Thacker Abrahams. He's been hurt very badly. They're going to have to stop the whistle. We'll stop the game. Leinster are too good for these Sappers. Here's it brighter there. And also so far, telecommunications are not playing as well as Big Bank. Says cited, and oh my word, that was nasty. It certainly was in the Royal Dublin Showgrounds. We don't have our prize bullock type furlong out there today. And so we'll give the Crusaders a really good game. Says the Lim report, right, this looks like a relatively serious injury. Ryan Beard was charging forward at 1,000 miles an hour and has taken out Thacker Abrahams, who is about half his size. So I think they're just going to be checking the two players. In fact, it was Jason Jenkins, I think. Was it? Was it Beard? No, it was Ryan Beard. Oh, okay. That could have been worse for Thacker Abrahams. He actually took it in the chest. I mean, it's still going to hurt for him. But if it had rode up a little bit further, that could have been right on the chin, and that could have been night-night for Thacker Abrahams. So luckily it's hit him in the chest rather than the head. But he's probably still got whiplash, to be fair. James Ryan looks like he is just about ready to make his way out onto the field. Out players or prayers and thoughts for the player. There's the Lim report. Yeah, Johnny Sexton wanted a penalty to his man. Okay, Johnny Sexton has been told that's enough. Thomas Toy has told him to go back as well. So he's trying to say that it wasn't foul play for his player jumping up and trying to decapitate a youngster out on the wing. Like they've said, it's a fair contest. There's no foul play involved. Johnny Sexton doesn't think so. How many head injuries from this game? I think it's about 3 or 4. At this stage, prayer emojis on the chat says CP, and our Sharks tackle's not sticking, says Simp Slayer there. No, they're just slipping off a little bit easy, aren't they, at the moment? There's plenty of Irish players from Munster, Ulster, and Connacht too, says Brian in there. And it's Thacker going off. Looks like he is going to be going off on a stretcher here for Thacker. Oh, no, it's not actually Thacker Abrahams who's going off on a stretcher. He's back to his feet. He's a tough little fella. And that's the thing. When you are that size out on the wing, we've seen it for past South African wingers. I mean, all you got to look at is Cheslin Colby. Normally, when you're half the size of some of the other players, you've got to be tough. And that's exactly what we're seeing from Thacker Abrahams. Staying down at the moment, it was the number 6, Ryan Beard. So replacing him, it will be James Ryan, who has now made his way out onto the field. So many karate chops to the neck and rugby lately are just large monocle. Says Scrumlace in. Hit the like, smash it out, people. Kiwi lads, let's get it. Says Nathan there. Yeah, anyone who is new to the channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe as those kicks. That's the difference so far. Says yeah, a lot more clinical for those kicks in behind from Johnny Sexton. You're going to do the Bulls game. I will be sleeping during the Bulls game, as George has told me he is coming around relatively early. So pretty much this game will finish at around 7 a.m. Then from there, I'm going to be sleeping till about 10 or 11 a.m. And then George is coming around with filming. And then I believe the afternoon, we have got a trip. Not me and George, but me and my mum. I think we are going up the road a little bit. Now, that is going to be... Hey, that's Andy Farrell. Looking on with his family. Okay, the one next to him looks a lot more like Owen Farrell than the one to the side a bit further. In fact, he's almost a mini Owen Farrell at this stage. And now he's yawning. And also, we have got from earlier on, I'll go back to that comment very quickly about the kicks. I don't think I've seen too many South African kicks in behind. Maybe the one. And also, we have got there, while everybody wanted to go kung fu fighting, says Nathan. And Barry says steroids will do that to you, lad. And that as well, says Barry Power. Although Thicke Abrahams, I feel like out of all the players to, I guess, call out for steroid use, the player who is the shortest on the field, the lightest on the field, the least muscly on the field, probably the least likely to be called out for that. So I guess you're picking the smallest guy and you're saying he's the one who's on the most juice. But doing all right, he's got back up to his feet. Probably just learned to be resilient, I guess you could say. But 49 minutes through at the moment, and now player going off the field, it is going to be Ryan Beard. And jumper should jump up, not across without catching it. There's Ali Wood there. And the guy showed a thumbs up, he's fine. And there's if it's used steroids, World Rugby would have caught us a long time ago. Slayer. Now, Renio Hiku, sorry, having a bit of a coughing problem there. Everyone giving the claps to the Leinster player, Ryan Beard. Hopefully he is all right. And hopefully he will be back in the near future. I've actually forgotten whose ball this is going to be. So I think Thicke Abrahams may have... No, it was another Shark player who took the catch. And then from there, I believe the mark was called. What is Cephas? Says, I think CP... Oh, there's a... Okay, the crowd don't like the decision for what happened, but I mean, they looked at it, they said it was fine. And also he used those steroids called biltong and stun rib, performance enhancing. And all South Africans use it, says Barry Power. Okay, fair enough. I would have thought it would be proven by now if that was the case. Unless you're calling like Powerade a steroid, which I mean, Powerade's very good. It gives you the electrolytes that you require from what you lose in sweat. If only I had a Powerade sponsorship, that would have been absolutely perfect. But the Sharks now, they're kicking it in behind. I think it's more of the case of people just get, I guess, a little bit, not intimidated, but these South African boys, they work hard in the gym. And I think it shows in that size and the frame that they've got out there on the park. And also, we're still here. There's not one there. And also, South African teams showing fight. And also, we over there, Sharks missing a few key players, but still making a mark. Says Dole. And then that's the thing. Leinster also need to consider they are missing their whole loose forward trio. They're missing a couple of their forward or their front row, missing some of their backs as well. Both of these sides have got a few of the players missing. Yeah, the Sharks, the touring side, always going to be a little bit harder for them in this matchup. Barry has made his mind up, let him be. Yeah, I don't think we're going to change his mind for that one. And also over there, it's that Bowlers and Biltong diet, says CP. I mean, you just got to look at the Argentine rugby team. They ate, how much was it? 120 kgs of meat or something in one session, which is huge. That means like about 2 or 3 kgs of meat per player. Great step in here from, it was Janzi van Rensburg. He's actually been very good throughout this match. They've considered it as a sport there, though. And also, our steroids is pro-neutro, specific or is suspiciously good for you. I lied. Are you not? I lied you not. Oh, no, I kid you not. I believe that is. They advertise it that way. Says Cited Canvas. Janzi van Rensburg. They did say that one just drifted forward out of the hands of Apelele Fassi. Close for that one, you'd have to say, but it is going to be a scrum feed now for Leinster. Running 25 metres out from their own line, 51 minutes through, and they have got themselves the bonus point at this stage of the game. And come on, ref, that's not fortunate, my head. There's some Slayer there. Scrum feed. Leinster about to feed it in with Foley. The second half's gone quite quickly. And unlucky, says Finton there. And yeah, look at that Argentinian scrum rumble. And it pays off. Also, apparently, the box team work especially close with the tight. One of them closer than others. And they use it a lot in schools. And you never lose that extra muscle and strength from steroid use. There's Barry. Although there are the downsides of steroid use as well, of course. A lot of people do say it's all good for you, but the slight thing with steroids as well, of course, I'm not a dietitian. I'm not a personal trainer or anything along those lines, but they do actually have a tolling effect on your body. The older you get in your career, the slowly, I mean, that's the thing. You get a lot more injuries when you take steroids because your body is that used to having that like extra bit of And then as soon as you lose it, that's when those injuries start to creep in. Normally it's in the muscles, like kind of the joints, such as your knees. I know a lot of people at one stage were accusing Manu Tuolangi of maybe having done something early in his career, all speculation, of course, because of the way that his joints constantly are getting injured pretty much instantly from the first sprint that he tries to do. So it's an interesting loophole, the old Roy trial, I guess you could say. I haven't taken steroids, as you can tell. Got enough muscle, is it? That's a lie. I got like no muscle at all. I went to the gym yesterday. I can't lift my arms above here. Now Foley, going to go for the box kick. 53 minutes into the game. High, Thacker Abrahams still willing to go up in the air, and he's taking a beautiful. Here comes Thacker Abrahams. And now he's done the kick in behind. He thinks he's going to be quick enough. He might just be as well. Thacker Abrahams, he's got what a try for the winger. And he gets the hug from that man in the Sharks kid in the front row who's been cheering for them the whole way through. That is a classy try from Thacker Abrahams. They wanted to check it. I don't know what for. I think the ref just wanted to see a replay of it. And I'll say, is Viagra a steroid? It's a steroid for a different part of you, I guess. Steroids will give you a small PCP, and someone said, Hamish, a good package of biltong. And I'll say, yes, the Sharks. And going quickly, you missed the first 10 minutes. That is true. I did miss about 3 minutes of the game. Yes, sir, says Dominique. And not even close to over 52 minutes is now when the points pile on. Either way, the bench will win or lose. This says Ali Wood. And Bulls currently have 3 key fly-halves, so definitely the South African teams with a lot to prove, says Dole there. All right, it's on-field decision try. Thacker Abrahams. Oh, hang on. Hang on. There's a Ringrose hand that sneaks around there. I think it's almost simultaneous between Ringrose and Thacker Abrahams. Oh, simultaneous. This is going to be an interesting call here. They're either going to give it as a try or they're going to give it as no try. Okay, Ringrose had it, but then I think there's separation between his hand. Just at this moment here, I think there was a bit of separation. It happened so quick, the ref needs to check it again. Yeah, Francis there, and it's a try despite the interference. And also, this game is electric. Hopefully, Sharks can tie into the defense, shut down Sexton, and close out this game. There's Jacques. Yeah, I was going to say, Ringrose there loses separation. I think that's why Thacker Abrahams is going to have this try awarded. And going to be a close one. Going to be a close score. Someone wins by 1, and it's a try, says Dominique there. And Baby Shark do. Okay, no reason to go against your on-field decision. The Sharks go from $10 underdogs to $4 underdogs, and the TAB, depending on how this match goes, may be giving up quite a bit of money. They will be blaming Leinster. Well, that, but of course, still plenty of time there. But Thacker Abrahams takes it beautifully on the halfway line. Then the youngster, he just accelerates, puts the grubber in behind, uses that massive amount of acceleration he has got. It's the pressure those young kids are on at school. Get pro contracts in South Africa is unreal, says Barry. And also we have got there how long left, says Richard. We have still got another 25 minutes left of this game. And that was phenomenal by Thacker Abrahams. Definitely when you consider the fact that just a little bit before he almost had his head taken off down the other end of the field. He got up, he dusted it off. That hurt a little bit. My chest is probably not the way it should be, but I'm still going to go for it and see Hamish defo steroids, says Ethan there. And also 25 minutes ago, says Dominique. That kick has gone over from Chamberlain. So now it makes us score 28 points to 27. And Thacker Abrahams says, was there from CP. Am I saying his name wrong? Is it Thacker Abrahams? Or am I saying it slightly wrong? Thacker. Is that how I'm saying it or not? I might have said it wrong once, maybe. And Thacker Abrahams as the Chatsworth Express. There's Francis. Now, going to be kicked off by Johnny Sexton. 56 and a half minutes through, kicking it deep into the 22. Sharks also have a bonus point now, so no matter what, both of the sides are going to be leaving this game with 1 point, maybe even minimum 2 because of how close it has been. So how does the bonus point system work in the URC? It is 4 tries gets you the bonus point. And Thacker, do you want me to get a little bit more at the end? Thacker, maybe. Thacker. It kind of sounds like I'm saying that there's a car going past. Thacker. 57 minutes through. Up at Lilifasi went for the boot. It came off the side of it. It's not too great from there. And also get more tries for the Sharks. And also we're going to come on Sharks get 2 more tries. Finish off Leinster for good. Says some Slayer there. Up at Lilifasi certainly hasn't been getting as much distance on the kicks as he would have liked. Not striking the ball true today at RDS Arena. Now thrown into the front for Leinster. 7.5 minutes gone. Dan Sheehan. Now it starts to march sideways. Back across. Nice play. Johnny Sexton, the drawing pass. Now on the outside. This is danger because Russell sees the corner. He tries to bump off. He's driven into touch 1 metre short of the line. Brilliant work from the Sharks there. Says Nathan. That's a hard name to pronounce. Put E in there. Thakir Abraham. Leinster may win, but we know pushover. There's not Kwanda. And yeah, I think the Sharks have proven that. They are certainly not taking a backward step up against them. Abrahams was tackled without the ball by Ringrose. Should have been a penalty try. I know I mentioned that on the commentary. Says Willie Explore in there as well. Now, it's nicely taken by Norshia. He has had to almost take that from the Leinster side of the line out, and geez, the pace is relentless. Both of these sides just keep on going and going and going. It's a penalty to Leinster. They're 5 metres out from the line. Massive. Well, they want the quick tap. They consider it, but now they will not go for it. And yes, there's Francis. And then also we get their Sharks. There's Dominic in there as well. We can hear the Leinster chants ringing out, and it looks like they are going to be going. So it's Thakir Abraham. Thakir. Okay, I'll try my best to get that one from now on. Now it's close to the line. Andrew Porter just short. Looks like Foley considered going for it himself. The spin, although I think he's going to be stuck on his back. Is he just short of the line? He has managed to recycle it. And now Leinster, probably about 3 centimetres from the line here now. Continuing to get those forwards in there. Back across here. Nice play. Johnny Sexton almost shut down. He's considering having a crack himself, but he's just run straight at Hiron Andrews. Now across. Going to be Jason Jenkins. Leinster relentless on attack. Nice attacking run there from Ross Maloney. Now across once again from Foley. Getting close. The referee is telling them to release. It's great work there from Foley. Now the kick across. It's the cross kick. And it's going to be Robbie Henshaw who gets the try for Leinster. This game is just a seesaw experience at the moment. Where was Abrahams? Shake my head. Here's Sim Slayer. Although I believe on that wing it would have been Vern the Clock who they would have been looking for. And also we have got the lawn mowing service. This is, of course, a classic throwback to one of the old live streams there. And yuck, says Ethan, and go Leinster, says CP. And keep them out, says Dominic. Go Leinster as well, says Scrum Mason. They have been able to get themselves another try for Robbie Henshaw. It was a cross kick, great kick from Charlie Nyatai. And it's another one. This game just keeps on giving some more. Both of these sides could be getting 40 points in this matchup. And let's go Leinster, says Nathan there. And again, it's a cross kick that makes the score possible, says Sidon. And yeah, it's that extra little bit of something that Leinster bring to the table. The fact that they aren't just willing to pass the ball across their backline. They're willing to do those little kicks. And Miss Sexton, says Sim Slayer there. Okay, they have checked it. They have said it is all good. Currently a 6-point lead for Leinster. This is an important kick. It's right by the touchline, but Sexton normally kicks these ones in his sleep. I don't know if that will be the case for this one, though. It is quite a tricky kick from the touchline. Go on, Leinster, says the username. And let's go Leinster. Beat those fishies, says it's CP. Johnny Sexton. Couple deep breaths being taken here. Still 19 minutes left on the clock. That's the thing. There is still plenty of time left in this game for both of these sides to be able to make that impact. And where is Kerwin Bosch? I think he's not on the bench, is he? But I want to say I saw him earlier on the sideline, but that was actually a Leinster player who looked very similar to Kerwin Bosch. So I think he's still in South Africa, and Henshaw is a great Irish musician. Great strike from Johnny Sexton. That one's gone straight down the middle of the sticks. And now the score is going to be 35 points to 27. Go Sharks, beat the Irish. There's Richard there. And go on, Leinster. There's a username LOL. But yeah, Natai found the space on the outside. Rather than going for the skip pass, it would have taken a little bit longer. He kept it flat. And Barry Green said, hey, Kiwi lads, welcome in, mate. Hope you are doing well. You can always count on Johnny, says username And yeah, his goal kicking is such an effective weapon for them. How will you rate Black Cats batting today? Very slow batting in middle orders, Conway and Williamson specifically. Yeah, they didn't have the best game ever against Pakistan, but luckily the Tri-Series still got more time left trying to improve before that World Cup. Both teams have kicked either through or over the defence. Leinster provide many options. There's Eric Davison. Picked up high. Nicely taken by Gary Ringrose, who was right up there for a man of the match contender. I've forgotten how I said it before now. I've forgotten how to say it. Thieker Abraham? Thieker Abraham. I forgot. Well, that's not a good take. From Pepsi Buthelezi, his first touch of the game is a mistake, and he has just come on the field for Nutshare. Now, Leinster have got this ball back. Also, Cameron Wright out there on the field. That is for Grant Williams. Ball out the back line. Here we go. Russell down the wing. Another one inside for the Henshaw, but he has knocked it on. But the idiot Sharks are the best. There's Richard there. And Sharks lineouts aren't good. There's Sim Slayer there. Going to be play on. Upper Lelefasi now gives it the boot downfield. Found a bit of space in behind. Natai has to go back and get it. Looks like he's just going to run them around a little bit more for the Sharks. And then little chip and chase. Interesting tactic. It's going to work out not too badly for Leinster in the end. It's actually a Sharks player ran into his own teammate. Now beautiful footwork from Foley. Moves up to 25. Or in fact, no, they're closer to 40 metres out. And Richardson gives away the penalty in the breakdown. And also, now it's like Thicker Abrahams. And also for pronunciation purposes, you had it earlier. I did. Thicker Abraham. The ref needs to look at that, WTF. Oh, Dylan Richardson got straight in there. Not sure what the penalty was for. And Bollocks says, and it was Ellie Wood and Sadie on. That will do it. And also, what does he play? I think a mandolin. There's Eric there. Okay. 64 minutes through. Still an 8-point lead for Leinster. Sharks are $13 underdogs at this point of the match. The coach does not look happy at all, though. Looks probably relatively kind of nervous. Thicker Abraham. The soft sound or a soft sound. Thicker. I'm going to call him Abraham, mainly because I also did it with another player earlier on whose last name I couldn't pronounce, or whose first name I couldn't pronounce. Who was that? That I couldn't pronounce, so I just called him by his last name. Who was it? I can't. Oh, yeah, I couldn't pronounce Walter Chamberlain, so I just called him Chamberlain. And also, who is Bollocks? Is he coming on to play alongside Werner? There, we have got there. I don't know how the Sharks are going to fight back. This kind of scoreline says so they certainly need some points soon. Leinster, they've got themselves another penalty. Going to be kicking it for touch. Johnny Sexton, normally very good with his touch finders. That one no different. And also, they look like a seatbelt tackle on the guy contesting the tuck or contesting the ruck. There's Finton there. And Healy on the field now for Leinster. Thrown in, stolen, this time by the Sharks at line out time. They've almost won more against the throw than they have won in favour of the throw. Cameron Wright looking back into the pocket, does find Chamberlain, and he gives it a boot across field, although Leinster have got it well covered. That is almost a little bit of a rough kick because Russell, any chance he gets down the field, that was a massive shot on him, though. I believe it was Janssen van Rensburg, and they are asking for a possible penalty there. And also Tucker Abraham or Takia Abraham. Got the yes on the end, doesn't it? Now, once again, available Sexton, nice inside ball to Foley. Every time they get that ball around the side of the breakdown, although that was not the play, they had no one out there other than Dan Sheehan, who's now bumped off Abrahams twice in a row. Still going, Dan Sheehan. Man on the outside, he didn't see him till late, but that could have been dangerous. Ringrose could have been gone if he had just heard the chant and the screaming for it. Now, Sexton goes back. Danger here. Leinster carving up the middle. Henshaw, 5 metres out. And they continue to use that ball quickly. 2 metres short now for Sexton. Round the side, he's got to be on his back. That is brilliant defense. I believe it was the number 12 there. And Ben Tapawai, who was just able to stop it. And also, good effort, Matthew. There's Ethan there, and squeeze box. There's Karma Beach, now only a couple metres short of the line once again for Leinster as the crowd get well and truly behind them. Now the number 7, Will Connors. Sharks need to make sure that their discipline is correct here. They cannot afford to give away a penalty, or else that could be the end of the match for them. Definitely, if it results in a penalty try. 2 metres short now. Hands back. They want to make sure that they are just behind the line. Now Leinster quickly with the forwards. That is one thing I always mention about Leinster is that ruck speed. Now around the side again, trying to get the leads driving. Dylan Richardson, great defensive manager, and to roll out of there. Like Foley this time wants to get it available for one of his big forwards. Or does he go himself? He tries it. Kearney close. Leinster at the moment, they have gone 14 phases in a row. That looked down, but now it is back short. So they might actually have another look at that depending on what happens from this stage. Now back across the wide cutout pass. That will be the try. And this time it's Rob Russell who has got in for it. And that is going to be another one for Leinster. They bring up their 40 points now. I'll put Sheehan back in his box. There's Ethan there. And also we go there, draw them in, go wide. And also we have some Shark Phillips at dinner. There's CP and also anyone else here because of DSTV flipping one device out of time. There's Matthew in there. There are mixed reviews about DSTV in terms of the coverage, how sometimes it can be a little bit shaky. Yeah, we appreciate you being here nonetheless. And come on, Guppies. There's Lauren there in about time. Says James Cody, about 16 phases in a row there for Leinster before they were able to drive themselves over the line, scoring another try. And this kick is a huge one because if this goes over, it will mean that the Sharks need 2 converted tries and something to be able to get themselves the win. Or if this kick misses, they'll need 1 converted try, 1 unsuccessful conversion, and then also the 3 points to draw. So it's starting to get a little bit more of an uphill battle for the Sharks from here. But Leinster starting to find their mojo with those wide cutout passes. And also we have got there, I love how it's only the good people of South Africa who come in, try to coach Hamish of how to pronounce names. Literally the only nation correcting him when he makes a mistake, bless, says Grumless. And yeah, I feel like it's always like the case, even in the Curry Cup live streams way back in the day when we were doing them, like you guys always come in and like you're willing to help rather than going, this Kiwi has no idea how to say a name, so we'll just swear at him. It's like you guys actually do try and help. Of course, sometimes they still don't roll off my tongue the way I like. And yet DSTV pulled in Netflix and stopped us viewing from multiple devices, says Cited. I think a lot of devices or a lot of companies have done that. Spark Sport, another one recently, that seems to only have 1 device you can watch from. And while it was a great time, but it's all over now, says Lauren, and Sharks can still do it. If the Sharks went with their main squad, would have won. Shake my head. This Everett coach gave Leinster a free win. Sexton has got it over, so that's going to make the score 42 points to 26, a 15-point difference now between these two sides. Are you looking forward to the ICC T20? Just got to not cricket. I just got to know cricket, and I'm looking forward to it. So we are actually going to be doing some live streams. We are hoping to do some on the main channel, some on the sport channel in the future. So yeah, if you guys aren't already subscribed, be sure to check out the Kiwi Lads Sport. And also, if you like a bit of gaming, we've got the Kiwi Lads Gaming in there as well. I don't know if that's the link for it. I'm going to quickly check what that link is. It's a YouTube link. Is it to the Kiwi Lads Gaming? It looks shorter than last time. No, it's not. It's actually it's a link to this live stream. So that would have been a little bit of a loop that you would have found yourselves in. We always get in there get there in the end with the Savas names, even if it takes 100 different viewers in half an hour, says Sebastian. And there's, I hope you are doing very well, mate. Thanks for this commentary. Reminds me we used to listen to the games on the radio, says Matthew there. Our Tapawai has another carry forward. 40 metres out from the line. The Sharks, if they want a chance in this game with 12 and a half minutes left, they do need to score now, currently on the halfway line. Nice pass across from Chamberlain. And some of the bench involved here. Leinster, is he allowed to do that? I don't think he was, but they were saying play on just for now. Dylan Richardson tackled by Michael Alaratoa. Looking to shift it left now. Little kick behind from Chamberlain. Bit of an unorthodox tactic. It's set up beautifully for Leinster. And now it's opened up another counter-attacking opportunity until he threw the ball away. The Sharks take it back with Ransi van Rensburg. Now kicked him behind from Cameron Wright. looking for a bit of territory. Not taken clean by Leinster, which does mean no mark is called. But down the wing, Rob Russell. He's been a very good player out on the wing for Leinster throughout this game. Now back across for Foley. Leinster looking to hit it up a couple more times, then perhaps they will look to go for the kick here. Big love, Katie, everyone. How's it, mate? Enjoying the rugby. CSCP and also no way. Oh, yeah, no way. Close to the Crusaders. Stop fooling yourselves, Leinster. Says Nokwanda there. Now the cross kick from Johnny Sexton. Picture perfect accuracy. Kicked him on by Gary Ringrose. Going to be a foot race. He's going to get the ball as well. This is brilliant work from Leinster with their kicking game here. Sharks doing well to defend it though. Now around the short side, Russell, in fact, it's Jason Jenkins says, you know what, I'll have a go. That's a penalty to the Sharks. He cannot clean out the way that he did there. But I believe it's actually going to be an advantage in favour of Leinster. And the crowd, once again, a chant for them. Johnny Sexton, he does the grubber himself. Sexton scores the try and the crowd erupt for Johnny Sexton. He's saying, if you don't think I can score tries, you were probably right up until this point, but not now. Sexton scores, and the crowd have gone nuts for it. Sexton with the magic feet. CCP, and not a good day for the Sharks. Barry Green, Albert's there. For those who need it, we start the we don't start the Welsh Rabbit yet again. There's Eric, but that was a great cross kick from Johnny Sexton. Ringrose then put the chip in chase, able to regather. Brilliant chase there. I think that's Runcie. Who was that? Oh, it was the big number 6, James Fenter, who was running hard with that one. But Johnny Sexton put the kick in behind, jumped on the ball, and the crowd absolutely loved it. And then Sexton, the goat, says James Cody and Yelp. That's game over for the Sharks. Yeah, they are now $41 underdogs. Be able to come back in this game, Sharks fans. God bless you guys. There's CP there. And big love, Carl. Not at the moment. The Quins should have played Worcester and Munster. Are terrible this start of the season. But I'm still here, aren't I? There's Sebastian there. And too easy. Give us a game, Sharks. What says Barry? I mean, the thing is, though, it's interesting. It's a 2-leg one, of course. Still got to head to South Africa for Leinster. Johnny Sexton now, though, maybe looking to line up this kick. It's gone eerily silent. Press F to pay respects to Worcester, and Fenter for Leinster just rubbing it in there. Says it was even a 65% thought Sharks would win Leinster. They missing a bunch of key players, and they still put 50 plus on them. Says Brian, that is now going to make it 49 points. Still 10 minutes left in this contest. And of course, now it seems we've got a lot more confidence coming through from the Leinster supporters. I do like it, though. They are getting behind their team at this stage of the match, now that they have got quite a nice lead starting to form. We have got their damn you, Johnny Sexton, says cited there. Now, Johnny Sexton, he's just showing off the class of the veteran, being able to make his way through. And also, we have got there, you playing the Sharks B team. Says Simslayer, although in respect to Leinster, they have also got a lot of key players out for this game also. So it's two sides that probably haven't quite got the numbers or the players that they would have liked, but in a way it's benefited them because we've now seen the class that is Rob Russell just absolutely tearing it up on that wing. A lot of people, like I mentioned, don't really know the guy, but been watching him for a while. You know that he is a class player and now might get an opportunity at the biggest stages in the future. Embarrassing collapse from the Sharks. Although they are playing an international team. Says LB and bye-bye Sharks, and Leinster won it now. It's been a great game, very happy. Says username there, nice step out on the wing from Ringrose. He has got to have man of the match by now, although Johnny Sexton's probably up there as well. Nice big deal. We all bounce back, says Nokwanda. And there as well. And at the end of the day, all you need is top 8. We did see it last year that Leinster, they finished first in the regular season, although they did not make it all the way. And the upper left, Fussy, the chip and chase. He's just got an easy try for the Sharks, almost a little bit too easy. Leinster, they'll be kicking themselves for that defence. But the Sharks, they get themselves a little bit of a consolation. We have got a donation from Finton. There, thank you very much, mate. Hugely appreciated. And also we have got there, I think this was the most sensible players' expectation before the game. I think it just 5 gag Sharks for the 2 points. When you're streaming cricket, he says, Ahmad, you do always ask that question. But the next one that is coming up, it's either going to be tonight or in a couple of days' time. And thanks for the feed today, brother. Says Finton, no worries at all. We will be back for more URC next weekend. So anyone who is new, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. But up Lele Fasi, just with a little chip and chase there. Leinster do need to be careful not to give the Sharks a 1 extra point. All you need is top 8. And great news for Munster fans, eh? There's a mention, yeah, at the moment, struggling quite hard I would say, at the start of the season. Munster, a little chipping behind from Apalele Fassi, does it very nicely indeed. Scores a try. And now with 7 minutes left, we might get ourselves about a 90-point game here. Anyone who voted for the Sharks were voting with their heart, not head. There's Ethan there in Cricket Seriously. They will put you to sleep. There's Barry Powell. I guess different tastes for different people overall. We have done, did that kick miss? No, it went over. Great kick from wide. But yeah, we have done like an 8-hour day of cricket before. In fact, we have done the Ashes, which was about 5 8-hour days in a row. 40 hours of cricket commentary we have covered on the channel. And speaking of Munster, where's Arcana? Has anyone seen him? The moment says Scrumlands, not recently, and Ireland will destroy the box. There's Dharma PJ, you streaming New Zealand T20 Tri Series. If they do have games that don't overlap with other matches, we will try our best to do so. And also, we have got their Leinster dominant all over. You're getting carried away. You got to play Stormers soon, says Simslayer. And also, we have got their, and the chat, wait for Box versus Ireland, says Francis. Yeah, it's going to be an awesome match to see who goes well in that one. And no celebration for Fussy. I know kids to yell at. Early cricket gives me the heart palpitations. Cricket is scary. And also, have you ever watched hurling before? I haven't. But I have heard it's very similar to field hockey, which we do have here in New Zealand. I don't actually think they show any hurling in New Zealand, sadly, though. Box versus Island games have been pretty even over the last 10 years. I haven't seen them in a few weeks. Katie Munster started to play decently, or if they start to play decently, it might be or would be a good idea to bring them back. It's going to be another little mistake there from the Sharks, and it looks like time's going to be off. Bit of push and shove here between Johnny Sexton and a few of the Sharks players getting shoved back by Jansi van Rensburg. And I think this is the frustration from the Sharks coming out now. They have not quite been able to have the result that they were after. They're trying to keep the side hoarding up, starting to fall over. Everyone's still pushing and shoving there in the middle. And come on, the Sharks. Manice plays for interim. And there as well says Karma Beach and go the Shark. He says Richard. And Hamish, are you watching Extreme Rules later? Is that on today or is that on Monday? Taking place. I might give it a look. I didn't actually realize it was on though. Been a little bit behind in terms of pretty much anything other than rugby. You beat the second team Sharks. You assumed you'll beat the Box. And there says not Wanda. Okay, this might be. Okay, they've said it's a forearm to the shoulder. They think it's going to be the penalty and maybe a yellow card for Ransi van Rensburg there. Or Rohan van Rensburg, Jansi van Rensburg, sorry. I think Ireland get to pass the quarterfinals. They can come to the debate table. There's Ethan and 2 Sapphire hot hats in a row. And also we have got their Kmaj is good. And yeah, I assume that is a side. And there, not on says username. So running for Ross Byrne. First shot. That's probably almost a yellow, if not red, in its own right. And then he does another tackle on another player. And it's at 2 a.m. Sunday morning, my side. What time is that? Says CP. So I believe that's about 1 p.m. New Zealand time, somewhere around there. Absolutely, Brian. My great game ground, or my great-great-grandfather is an Irishman by the enemy of James Rourke, famous for the Battle of Rorke's Drift in natal South Africa, says Francis. And I also can totally see why the Box don't want to pick Fussy at fullback. Super dangerous on attack with a little space, but always out of position on defence. He should rather play on the left wing. Yes, except there. And I guess that's the thing. With Makazole Mapimpi still playing and still match fit, I can kind of see why they took Fussy out, just because they haven't really got that space for him at the moment. Then you've got Chisel and Colby coming back, Sipa Unkosi recently getting his chance. I think Fussy's just a little bit further in the future. To be honest, beat the Box when Leinster Australian gets B-Team Sharks. I lost to non-Bulls Box. Leinster fans getting carried away, says Sim Slayer. There's although you got to take the wins and you got to take the losses. And I feel like this is definitely a big win for Leinster to be able to get so many points on the board, building their confidence, because the last game that they played, I think it was up against, was it Ulster or Munster here? Yeah, it was Ulster, and they were able to win away from home 20 points to 13, which was a very big one for them to be able to get. And an Irish derby, they had their close game with Zebra in the first game, 33 points to 29, beating Benetton by 32. Leinster just starting to find their strides throughout the season. Get them out, red card. There's CP. I don't see any mitigation. There's the comment from the Welsh referee. I'm at red card. Seems like this one is going to be needed. And the thing is, That's not smart from Rohan Janse van Rensburg because he's been one of the better players out there on the field when it comes to the physicality. He's just got that one wrong. Such a dirty move by the Sharks player, says username, yeah. And it's probably cost him 3 weeks, to be fair as well. He is going to be gone from the match. Rohan Janse van Rensburg, like I mentioned, he's put in a few big hits, goes over and says sorry to Ross Byrne, which is a nice little touch at the end. Oh, they won and absolutely deserve the red card. All good for Ireland, says Karma Peach. And I'm an Ulster fan in Switzerland for all Irish teams. I think Ireland can beat South Africa. I can see South Africa beating Ireland. It is so open. Well, rugby at the moment, New Zealand brought back into the chasing pack, says Ethan. And it's a mask card for the player, says Cited. And it's not a red card, says Connor. And there as well. Okay. What else are we checking here? Oh, okay. They were just trying to work out whereabouts it was. It's about 36 meters out. And goodbye, get him out. Take a seat, Rohan. And also, don't worry, come to altitude. We'll show you Leinster, says Nokwanda. And also, players need to bloody learn to tackle lower simples, says Barry. And also, shame, I was hoping to see, well, not to see cards in such a good game like this, says username. Yeah, we almost got through 74 minutes. And then someone decided to go a little bit too high. That someone was Rohan Janse van Rensburg. Ringrose, though. He's on 2 tries at the moment. He could get himself a hat trick. He's the player of the match. He's got to be. And they have just put it up on the screen. Well played by Ringrose. I'm clapping currently at 7 a.m. here in New Zealand, but deserves the round of applause. When Jordan Lama went off with the injury, Ringrose came out, got himself 2 tries. He's been involved multiple times throughout other tries scored by Leinster as well. And now they've got themselves a 10-meter line out looking for a possible chance at a 50-point game for them. That's a bumper for the Sharks. And as I said, Barry Green now starting to roll forward. This is good. This is very good. And that's going to be the try for Leinster here. It's John McKee who goes in for it. And that is going to be the 50 points now on the board. And almost at the perfect game. The pace is cited. I think Ireland beats South Africa in Dublin just because of their record at home. There's James Cody. And also, you're not wrong. There's Graham Barry. So right. There's, it was Karma Peach. And there as well. 3 weeks in which rugby union heaves a massive sigh of relief in the absence of Big Rohan. The exhibition of the last 10 games between Ireland and South Africa. Ireland won 6 times, South Africa 4 wins. Says Brian. So yeah, it could be a very close game. We are going to be covering that one on the channel. So anyone who is new, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. It is hugely appreciated you guys all being here for this late night New Zealand live stream. Decent time for you guys in South Africa and Ireland, I believe. In this game in with 100 points aggregate? I don't think so. We're at 88, so we would need another 2 tries scored in the next 5 minutes. It's doable, don't get me wrong. It is certainly a possibility, but it might just be a little bit too tough to be able to catch. In fact, it's only 4 minutes left now. And by the time Johnny Sexton takes this kick, might be closer to 3. This game getting bad for the Sharks. I might get a 60 point if they're not careful, says Barry. And Ric Flair noises with the woo in the chat. I can't do that too loud because I think there are people sleeping in my household. But if it was up to me, I would do it very loud. And thank you for keeping us updated. Once more serious question I need to be directed towards our coach and admin team, says Greg there. So yeah, next week, the Sharks, they'll be moving on to face up against, I believe, is it a home game for them? And next match, I'm just going to have a very quick look. Make sure I got it around the right way. Yeah, their next game is going to be on Sunday, 3:05 a.m., and that will be up against Glasgow Leinster. Their next matchup is going to be taking place next week as well. And it is going to be up against Connacht away from home. So that will be a 7:35 a.m. kickoff on Saturday morning for many berries. And there's also Scrumless. And also Barry Green is here. And also we have got in Cleveland Blow It and Saber Fans Live or live in their own bubble. Says Brian. And there's I feel like all fan bases have their own, I guess, their loyal supporters who stick through their sides thick and thin. And I guess, yeah, it's one of those ones that South Africa at the moment, you'd have to say, due to being defending champs of the URC, they have got a little bit more, I guess you could say, a little bit more invested in the URC at this current time. The Stormers sitting top of the table until after this game. Leinster will move back to the top, but a game in hand for the Stormers who will be playing next week. But I think the big game is Leinster versus Stormers. That is going to be taking place in a long time. That is actually in 168 days. Okay, a bit more push and shove here. That's not really necessary between these two sides. Werner Koch is fired up. You can see the frustration on his face. Okay, he's looking for the ref here. So he feels something's happened off the ball that he is not too happy about. And he's still trying to line him up as well. for Werner Koch. Not a happy man. And I also got with them. They think the world owns them. And there, as I says Barry, and also we have got their facts and facts. Like says Ethan, and for such a high aggregate, le ref for not applying the laws, says Eric. And also proud of the Sharks, says not Wanda there. And also, Sharks should sack this coach. You don't play the best team in the UK with your B team. Says Sim Slayer. Right, Werner Koch has had his front ripped down. He's kind of looking like he's wearing a blouse at the moment. Probably in some regards has the hair for it too, unfortunately, had to be said. And good game, Leinster, you beat us. There's a Richard. Now it's going to be the scrum feed. 2 minutes left on the clock between these two sides and currently a 20-point margin. So for this game, Leinster will walk away with 5 points. The Sharks, they will walk away with the singular point, which I believe at this current point in time will still keep them in 6th on the table, or do they move up a little bit? No, they will still stay in 6th, although there is another game taking place at the moment. That is the matchup between Cardiff and Scarlets. And currently in that game, once it loads, which it's taken its time, but luckily the scrum has taken its time to load as well, I guess you could say. 16 points for Cardiff, 10 to the Scarlets. The stage, and Sharks lost, at least. I tried to do something, says Dominic, and Sharks going to lose. They were beaten. There's Darren O'Connor there. Now, penalty goes the way of Leinster again. They will look to possibly... That's the thing. Johnny Sexton could almost close out the clock, but I think they'll go for the corner and try and get one more 50 points. That's a lot to concede, no matter who you play against. Says Sizer there. Yeah, the defense of the Sharks at times has been a little bit shaky. Leinster's attack, though, got to have a lot of credit in there as well, because at the end of the day, those cross kicks from Sexton have been brilliant. Gary Ringrose off the bench has been phenomenal, and also in the front row, been quite a bit of structure in the way that they have been playing. Porter's been immense throughout this contest. The Sharks going to lose. They got their cheeks clapped. CCP. And also we are in the UK. Here's Barry. Going to be kicked into touch. Oh, he's hit the roof. Has he just shattered that, or was there moisture on that roof? Because either way, the ball is stuck on the roof. Someone's going to have to try and get that. Yeah, that guy's not tall enough. He went over, thought that jumping to try and knock the ball off to the side was going to work. It certainly was not. He is going to need a ladder more than likely. It might be 60 points. There's Barry Green now with the rolling ball here for Leinster. Getting close to the line. The Sharks not careful, says Barry Green. And come on, Leinster. There's Island fan 1, 2, 3. Still driving forward. Here we go. Ireland getting close, and they've got themselves another advantage. Or sorry, Leinster, I should say. Now off the back, James Ryan creeping forward. A little bit of a crawl. 2 meters out. Kian Healy gets wrestled down by Werner Koch. They keep on going with this fast recycling on the ball around the side. They could get themselves another try. They're going back for the penalty, though. And also we have got their Islanders in the UK, brother, says Scrumless in there as well. And also we have got there, if the Sharks not careful, says Barry, for if it is going to be the 60 points, it doesn't matter at this point, game is over, says Ethan. All right, Leinster kick the ball out. That will be the end of the game, and they have been victorious over the Sharks. 54 points, 234 in a high-scoring affair. 88 points put on the board between these two sides. It's been an entertaining fixture, the highest scoring of the weekend so far, by far, almost double the amount of points we have seen in some of the other fixtures. Quite right, Hamish. Ireland versus Sharks B. Yeah, Francis. Well, you'd have to say, like, Leinster, for me, have not got the A side out there either. I know that you guys will be sick of hearing me say that, but you look at the loose forward trio. They've got Beard, Connors, and Conan was supposed to start. Instead, it was Reece Ruddock. No Caelan Doris, no Josh Van den Flair. And also, when you look at that front row, you know, you're missing Tyke Furlong. The back line, they're missing a couple names scattered throughout that line as well. You have to say both sides playing with, I guess you call it, relatively B sides overall. But in the end, Leinster are able to get themselves the job. And I know they should have gone for the 60-point mark. Let's all laugh at Munster. I think that should be the result from this weekend. And also we have got their Sharks just need to stay in the top 8 and then can boost the squad with the Springbok players for the knockouts, says Rage. Yeah, they'll be looking forward to having the likes of Lukanyuam, also Makazole Mapimpi, Sia Khaleesi, all those guys making their way back in right at the right time. And GG's, thanks for the coverage, Hamish. I appreciate the sharing of the science knowledge and fluent Afrikaans pronunciation, says Ethan. Hugely appreciate you being here, mate. And I hope in the future that the Car Abraham's name rolls off my tongue a bit better. That was worse than the first time I said it, I think. And thanks, Hamish. Sleep well, says Karma Peach. And there as well. But nonetheless, thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, Be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. We are going to be back next week with some more URC, also the Rugby League World Cup, the Women's Rugby World Cup, the Men's Bunnings NPC semi-finals coming up just around the corner for the men. We've also got some cricket coming up on the channel. We've got plenty all just around the corner. But thank you all very much for tuning in, and I will see you all for the next one.